Now on the concourse. Be a part of the game by buying an MHSAA souvenir shirt or program. Injury prevention, along with proper identification and management of athletic injuries and illness, are key components to safe sport participation. Certified athletic trainers or licensed healthcare providers working with many high schools across Michigan to help with it.
Weights have been lifted. Sprints have been run. Preparation for today's game is history. It's time to get it done. You're listening on MichiganSportsRadio.com.
If you're only going to make one basket in a championship game, make sure it's the game winner. And two schools win regional titles for the very first time. I'm John Ross, and this is This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. Rockford's Grace Lions had a team-high 23 points in a 65-42 win over Detroit Renaissance in the Division I girls basketball semifinals. So it was a bit of a surprise that in the championship game against West Bloomfield, she was held scoreless for the first 31 minutes and 20 seconds of action. But the three-pointer she hit with 40 seconds left was a big one. Trailing by one, Rockford swung the ball around to Lions, who hit the game winner.
Anna Y pitch over to Alyssa. Spin move back up top to Anna. Grace Lyons, three-point try in the way, and she drains it. What a great time for Grace Lyons to hit a three, and then a turnover for West Bloomfield as they push the action out of bounds.
That was Carolyn Binder of the MHSAA Championship Network with the call. Lions would hit two free throws with a second left, cementing the win. Rockford beat the defending champion Lakers of West Bloomfield 40-28 in the D1 Finals. In Division II, Lansing Catholic knocked off Frankenmuth 43-29 to win the title. Playing in front of the biggest crowd of championship day, the Cougars jumped out to an 11-0 lead and never looked back. Twin sisters Leah and Anna Richards led the way for Lansing Catholic, as Leah had 16 and Anna had 14. For more on both of these championship games, be sure to check out MHSAA.com. Game balls this week go to Jeremiah Palmer of Niles Brandywine. He scored 14 in a regional final win over Centerville. It's Brandywine's first ever basketball regional championship. Rochester Adams also won its first regional championship as Peter Cardasis scored 29 in a victory over Clarkston. And to Grand Blanc's R.J. Taylor, he scored 20 in a 59-58 overtime win over Mount Pleasant. Grand Blanc has played in the last two D1 title games and hopes to make it to the Breslin Center for a third straight trip.
For high school seniors, the matchup of the year isn't on the field. It's actually online. That's right. When you fill out the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid, you could also be eligible for thousands of dollars in additional money from the Michigan Achievement Scholarship. Yep, nearly 80% of students who fill out the FAFSA may be eligible. Now that's a matchup we can all root for. Get started today at michigan.gov/achievement. The Michigan Achievement Scholarship. It's a game changer.
Our weekly Be the Referee feature takes a look at the fine art of officiating with registered official Paige Winnie.
When watching a college or NBA game, the last 2 minutes of the game can seem like it takes forever, especially in recent years where more and more judgment calls made by officials are subject to instant replay. At the high school level, video is not used to make a ruling or confirm or overturn a call made during the course of the contest. The only time video review is used in basketball at the high school level is at the MHSAA semifinal and final games. In these games, video review can be used only to determine if a shot was released in time at the end of the fourth quarter or overtime, or if that shot was a 2-point or 3-point field goal attempt. The MHSAA believes that this very limited use of replay in these games at the very end of the tournament series in boys and girls basketball is the right call.
Thanks, Paige. Now more than ever, we need officials. If you're interested, go to the MHSAA website now to register. Back to the Breslin Center in the MHSAA girls basketball finals. In Division III, Hemlock beat Blissfield 59-43 to win its first girls basketball title. Reagan Finkbeiner led Hemlock in scoring in the title game with 19, and she led them in their semifinal win over Hart with 24. Blissfield was playing in the title game 50 years after playing in the very first MHSAA Class C girls title game. And in Division IV, Glen Lake beat Baraga 60-43 in the championship game. Maddie Bradford had 28 for the Lakers. Ruby Hogan added 19. Glen Lake cruised to the finals by beating Adrian Lenawee Christian 49-31 in the semis. Baraga avenged last year's semifinal loss to Fowler by knocking off those same Eagles this year in the semifinals. Stats, stories, recaps, and more from a wild weekend at the Breslin Center are all at MHSAA.com. And that will do it for another season of This Week in High School Sports, powered by Michigan Student Aid. It's a production of the MHSAA Network. Thanks for joining us. I'm John Ross, and we will be back in August for the start of the 2023-24 school year.
Lobbed ahead over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Orbaugh. Oh my goodness, the tomahawk jam.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star in all the years.
Driver pounds the rock, looking for a passing lane. Got some motion going, got it right corner for Hagel. Pounded defensively by Dudley. Step back three for the lead. Buries it pure. Kobe Hagelin, 40-39 West Ottawa. A step back triple. Absolutely cold-blooded from Hagelin. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good. Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And the Hudsonville Eagles are state champions for the first time in school history. They bob at center court. Head coach Casey Glass, in his 12th season, has taken the Eagles to the mountaintop. They are state champions. And it's the ultimate revenge for Tri-Unity. Another state championship for Coach Keeler's squad. The defenders of Tri-Unity Christian, state champions in Division 4, 56-45 the final. This is March on MGN, and this is Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio from the Breslin Center. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, and we've got the big one. It is our 47th game we have covered this winter, plus another 13 or so that we had during the fall as well, and we finished the season with the biggest game of the season. It is the Division I state championship game, and it is between a pair of traditional powerhouses. Muskegon, last state champions in 2014 under Keith Guy, and the last time a West Side team won the state championship was from the Big Reds and Cass-Tech, a team that, believe it or not, have never won the state championship. They have been runners-up back in 1974, but we know the talent that they bring to the table year in, year out under head coach Stephen Hall. Chandler, I'll bring you in. I mean, take me through your excitement for this one, because as I said, this is the biggest basketball game of the year in the state of Michigan. We've got it right here.
Yeah, no better place to close out the season than here, the Division I state championship game. And as you said, two teams that year in and year out, whether they're ending the season here at the Breslin Center, just always have a tremendous amount of talent and have really built themselves on having great programs and finishing the year and really continuing to really rack up the accolades when you look at what Muskegon's been able to do with some of the state titles in there at Cass-Tech, looking for their first one, but still a program that's been building and has had a lot of success. And so one of these is going to be able to add a state championship here today, and no better way to end the season.
Yeah, Muskegon a three-time state champion, a couple runner-ups as well, and Cass-Tech looking to add the big one to their trophy case for the first time. Vastly different games both of these teams played yesterday. For Cass-Tech, they survived in overtime over Grand Blanc yesterday, 62-56 in a crazy game. And for Muskegon, we'll start with the Big Reds, Chandler, 65-42 utterly throttled Orchard Lake St. Mary's. It never was really close from the start. It was the most impressive statement I think a team in Michigan has made this year. And it's taken a lot of people from thinking that Cass Tech was potentially a runaway favorite for the state championship, and I think it's changed a lot of minds going to this game that the West Side boys may have a good chance.
Yeah, Muskegon continues to prove that they're for real. I think you saw the amount of wins they racked up in the regular season and the way that they dominated a lot of teams, and you start to look at the potential run that they can go on. Of course, you start thinking about the East Side teams that they're potentially going to match up with here these last couple days. But as Muskegon continues to march on through this tournament, they continue to win impressive games. There's East Lansing. We got to do that game earlier this week, and that game was close for a while. But for the most part, Muskegon has been dominating teams start to finish. Orchard Lake St. Mary's got out to early 3-0 lead, but that was about the only thing they had the rest of the game. The Big Reds dominating that one pretty much start to finish.
I don't know how I just got hit from a ball from behind. We're facing the court, and I just got hit from a ball from behind somehow. Of course, courtside here. This is the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And yeah, on the other side, though, Cass Tech, they survived. And the storylines in this game are going to be very similar to what we talked about yesterday. It is the incredible talent, the incredible backcourt that Muskegon has. One of the best in the state, one of the best we've seen in a very long time in the state in terms of 3 next-level scholarship players that do so much, and they all, complement each other so well, versus an outstanding sophomore for Cass Tech. Yesterday for Orchard Lake St. Mary's, it was Trey McKenney. Today, it's Darius Acuff, the sophomore and younger brother of former Cass Tech technician and now Duquesne player Tyson Acuff. And Darius, a 6'2" sophomore, averages nearly 22 points per game. He's got about 6 assists per game as well. The offense really starts, finishes, ends, everything in between with this guy. Yeah, he's really their number one player out there. It leads them in scoring. It also does a little bit of everything. Got good size for still just a sophomore, and I think very bright future, too, when you look at and what his potential could be in continuing to grow in this program. Yeah, absolutely. And again, we'll talk about the Muskegon guards again. I mean, David Day III had 16 yesterday. Jordan Briggs had 19, 7, 5 assists. Anthony Sidnor had 11 points and defended Trey McKenney incredibly well. I mean, if this backcourt couldn't have, if their lore was already at one point, they built it a little bit more with a chance to really build it today. Yeah, those 3 really play so well. I mean, the guard play, the senior experience, everything you're looking for out of your guys in a moment like this, and they continue to pass every test. They have a tremendous rotation of each having the same style of game, but each contributing what the other one needs at the time in order to make it all work together, whether that's scoring, shooting from the outside, attacking the basket, getting some assists. That's locking down the opposing team's best player. They can really do a little bit of everything. All right, as I said, this is broadcast number, 31 in terms of broadcast, 47 in terms of total games, and this very likely will be our final break on the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show that we will take this year. We'll take a quick break, come back. We have a lot more to get to, setting up the D1 championship. Cass Tech, Muskegon for the top trophy in the state. Cannot wait to get it underway. Is it going back to the West Side since 2014, or for the first time since 2015 will it be a Detroit Public School League team that wins the title? Do not go anywhere.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
MGN, here's the driver. I am Chandler 2.
Oh, wow.
We're going to leave this in.
All right.
This is staying in the show. He is Chandler Timmer. I am Nate Dreyer. This is what happens when you work together for 6 years. The names are one.
We're just one, yeah.
Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Chandler Timmer, Nate Dreyer. Michigan game night, tailgate report. We clearly have to stop talking. I do at least. I will see you all. I see you too. Friday night, Granville, Wyoming. I think 6:30 we're on the air for that. Goodbye. All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. And he has returned. He's still on the beach. We've been bugging him about it all week long, but Chandler Timmer joins me here on the Bates Agency pregame show. CT, you seem to be doing better than the rest of us.
Yeah, I know, it's pretty nice down here. I kind of like covering basketball this way.
I'm sure you do.
Looking to this moving forward.
I can't blame you one bit. All right.
Rather than just always relying on one player.
Yeah, Scott Bates Agency pregame show continues here on game night on Michigan Sports Radio. CT, I think the next thing that you have to mention most notably in this contest is break me every time still. Every single time that happens, it gets me. The winners still go to the Heartland student section last year at the Breslin Center. Those guys win every time. Season. And we'll wrap up our broadcast with the Heinz Orthodontics smile of the game. He's grown at that point guard position. Tough backcourt in general. Getting to some of those other pieces that we have out there. After 3 years, it finally almost came down on me. Good catch. I don't know what kid caught that, but that was a good catch. But regardless, a tough backcourt.
Your flight's at 5 or your...
Yeah, the flight out of Panama City is like at 5, and we don't get home till like midnight, so.
That sucks. So you're actually, that was a lie. You're not going to be tuning in.
Yeah, no, if I'm at the airport at that time, I will be, but I'm likely missing most of it.
Okay. All right, and thank you, everyone, again, as I said, for tuning in. He's here today. He wasn't here a few weeks ago when that was shot. I think that's like our number one pregame segment that we're ever going to do is the quick turn to Chandler on the beach as part of his great pregame analysis that he actually had. It worked out. I mean, he did great as always, the ultimate professional, even when he's on the beach in Florida. Back at the Breslin Center, of course, here on the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show. This is the Division I state championship game on game night, and we went over the basic stuff everyone's talking about, ACUF versus the Muskegon Guards, but let's take a look at some of the other things. First off, a terrific coaching battle, as good of a coaching battle as we could ask for. Keith Guy, 2014 Class A state champion, of course, with the Big Reds, and then Steve Hall, 3 Class D titles with Detroit Rogers. He then went on and became a D1 assistant with Youngstown State and Duquesne. Returned here to his alma mater 7 seasons ago. Hall 194-30 on his career since he has returned. So we know great coaching battles are up here in this one. We know in particular coaches that run similar styles. Their teams mix things up with you a little bit. They coach with intensity. Their teams play with intensity. This could be one of the most intense Division I championship games we've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, I think really curious to see how this one plays out. The two coaching staffs going back and forth. Of course, so much success. Keith Guy already having a state championship, so he's been here, has accomplished that, and has got his team ready to roll. And for Cass Tech, Stephen Hall with multiple state championships already, and possibly having Cass Tech at what could be their peak here today, and seeing these two go back and forth, as you said, the similar styles, kind of the give and take between them, and kind of figuring the flow of the game out as we go.
And similar to yesterday, it's a team with their window opening in Cass Tech with a bunch of really young players versus, of course, this is kind of the chance for this Muskegon core that's been building for 2 or 3 years. I heard, Coach Guy talking about it, how they had a team, the COVID-shortened season, that really thought they had a chance to go on a state championship run, as a lot of teams did. Hudsonville, of course, as well that year from the West Side, thought they had state championship teams. It got taken away from them with a lot of seniors, and this group of 3 at the time sophomore guards came in the next year. Coach Guy talked about yesterday in his press conference how they came in, no practice, no fall, and I liked his quote was, "We lost 7 games that year and took a lot of heat." You know how many teams around around the state would lose 7 games in the season and wouldn't take a lot of heat? But that's just what things are at Muskegon. Lost 7 games and took a lot of heat was his quote. But that's right. That's really what the expectations are. And now they've built into to a team that's here on the precipice of winning the state championship quite possibly. But let's talk about the bench standout guards. And for Cass Tech, Corey Sadler Jr., the freshman, who is an unbelievable football player, defensive back. I mean, just he's going to be a true 4 or 5 star, I think, type football recruit in 3 or 4 years when he's finished for Cass Tech, and likely he's going to win a state championship or 2 for the Technicians because of what he's able to bring to the table. But he came off the bench with 14 points and 4 rebounds. And we know what a guy like Makai Guy has meant to the bench, but Corey Sadler is a really unique piece of this game, and he might even wind up getting the start off the performance he had yesterday. But you have the sophomore in Acuff, and then you have the freshman in Sadler that really can do a lot of things. Again, like yesterday, it's youth versus experience. Makai Guy's been here coming off the bench. Corey Sadler, just freshman.
Yeah, I think really interesting to see that dynamic when you talk about that's what Muskegon's been riding throughout this entire playoff run, is that senior experience and using that to stay calm and comfortable throughout the course of the game. And then you look at the Cass Tech side and you've got some younger players, a guy like Acuff that's all season long is playing almost the entire game, seeing a lot of minutes, has a very bright future there. And then a guy like Sadler coming off the bench who yesterday needed a big game. They needed a spark in order to come back in that one, and he's the guy they turn to, another ball handler, another guy that can score the basketball and really stepping up in some big moments, and another chance to do that here today.
All right, we got more notes to talk about on the Bates Agency pregame show than we have time, so let's go rapid fire. Benches in general, both teams 9 or 10 deep. I think that's going to be a bit of a wash. Both teams are going to run. I don't think there's much more to go on that. The inside battle will be interesting. Both teams very similar. Terrence Davis may have a little bit more muscle in that battle inside for Muskegon. I think both teams want to see their X factors from Friday repeated. Corey Sadler going off. David Day III, normally seen as the third scoring option of the 3 guards. When you look at the season averages, he goes for 16 and was really a true leader for Muskegon yesterday. X factors today, look at the guys inside. Let's get quickly to the matchup to watch. Who is going to be able to control the backcourt, control the turnovers? You have the experience from Muskegon. They're very good at not turning the ball over while still going very quickly, versus on the other side, you saw it with Grand Blanc. The reason why Grand Blanc lost that basketball game is they got turned over a lot down the stretch as the pressure from Cass Tech pulled up. That's going to be the goal. Who can run their high pressure attack without turning the basketball over? I see the back of the shirts for Cass Tech says pressure. So they seem ready to do just that.
Yeah, I think that's exactly what the game plan is going to be. And a lot of teams have tried, but not many teams have had a lot of success. But that's what Cass Tech is going to try to do, is take some of that senior experience and try to rattle them a little bit in a situation, a state championship game, force them into some full court pressure mistakes, turning the basketball over, and get them uncomfortable. Not easy to do, but definitely with some of the havoc that they can create is possible.
By the way, the back of the warm-up shirts from Muskegon say against all odds. So against all odds, for the first time since 2014, the West Side is looking for a state championship here today. Quickly, keys to the game, like you said, Muskegon, they got to limit turnovers. They have to keep their game flowing, and they have to shut down Acuff the way they did McKinney yesterday. Really, the keys for Muskegon are repeat what they were able to do a day ago. And then for Cass Tech, they have to get Muskegon out of their rhythm. Essentially, Cass Tech is looking to do exactly the things that Orchard Lake St. Mary's was never able to do, and Muskegon's looking to repeat it today.
Yeah, I think you saw the Big Reds yesterday and their ability to create a game plan to shut down one-star scorer that they started from the beginning saying you're not going to beat us, and they were able to do that against McKinney. I think it has to be a similar game plan, a little different style of game between Acuff and McKinney yesterday, but you saw the Big Reds being able to lock in on one guy, shut him down. I think that was the most impressive part. The Big Reds offense was good, but the defense was fantastic in their semifinal win. So they're able to repeat that and limit the leading scorer, the number one option for the Technicians, and then force guys like Sadler off the bench or some of the other second, third scorers to have to really step up.
All right, starting to pack in courtside and around the Breslin Center. The MHSAA Boys Basketball Division I State Championship. Muskegon, Cass Tech right on the other side of this. Thanks for tuning in to the Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency pregame show, the final one of the year. Let's crown a D1 state champion, shall we?
Somebody once said life moves pretty fast, and that's exactly how we like it. Want to build something? Great. Start businesses, build bridges, raise a whole city. Future in fighting crime? Want to save lives? Do it all here. But you've got to go forward fast. Because today is now, and tomorrow is soon. And to get ahead of the game, you got to get ahead of your time. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
To everyone who loves great food, let us make you a meal the Wisconsin way.
We cook each butter burger to order for you and the people you love, so it's the best part of your day.
The best.
The best.
And every creamy scoop of fresh frozen custard, pure happiness.
Pure happiness.
Pure happiness. Because where Culver's comes from.
And the heart of America's Dairyland.
Our love.
Our love for fresh food is as strong as our love for all of you.
From Wisconsin with love.
Welcome to Delicious.
All right, welcome back to the Breslin Center. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here. Lights go down. Player introductions will begin. Same lineups for both of these teams that they utilized in their games yesterday, by the way. And let's take a look at who's starting for either team. For Cass Tech, they are the home team on scoreboard and in uniform here today. For head coach Stephen Hall, who is in his 7th season, a 194-30 records for the Technicians, who are 27-1 on the season and 6-0 within the Public School League, the Blue Division. Alongside Coach Hall are his assistants Richard LeGrier, Larry Borum, Ivan Pitts, Derry Williams, Robert Johnson, DeMarco Womble, Llewellyn Fluker, and Dwight Blakey. Cass Tech, a Class A runner-up in 1974. They beat Grand Blanc 62-56 in overtime yesterday to get here. They will be starting the 6'5" senior center, Trayvon Cooper, who averages 11.5 points per game and nearly 9 rebounds per game. In the backcourt, they'll have their 6'2" sophomore guard, Darius Acuff, who leads the way with 21.5 points per game and nearly 6 rebounds per game. He had 19 points yesterday in the semifinal. Senior 6'2" guard Makai Walker gets the start in the backcourt alongside Acuff, and up front they will have the 6'2" senior forward and wing Christian Hairston and the 6' senior forward Kenneth Robertson gets the start. He averages 15.3 points per game on the year and 5 rebounds on the season for Robertson. For the Big Reds, 26-2 on the season, 14-0 champions of the OK Green, coached by Keith Guy, who is in his 11th season, the 2014 state champion with a 229-36 record in his career. He is assisted by Maurice Sane, Lewis Murray, Josh Wall, Anthony Sidnor II, Jaquan Brown, and Sam Cornett. The Big Reds beat Orchard Lake St. Mary's 65-42 yesterday. They have 3 MHSAA championships, the most recent coming in 2014, and 2 runner-ups. They'll be in their traveling black uniforms. For the Big Reds in the backcourt will be the 5'10" senior guard David Day III. He averages 8 points per game on the year, but went off for 16 points and 5 rebounds yesterday. Jordan Briggs, the 6' senior guard, gets the start. He averages nearly 19 points per game. He scored 19 with 7 rebounds and 5 assists yesterday. Joining him in the backcourt, the 6' senior Anthony Sidnor III, the Ferris State commit, averages 14.3 points per game on the season, 5.6 rebounds, and 5.6 steals. Stanley Cunningham, the junior, starts at power forward at 6'5". He averages 7.6 rebounds per game, had 4 points, 5 boards yesterday against Orchard Lake St. Mary's. And in the middle is the 6'6" junior Terrence Davis, averages 7 points and 10 rebounds per game on the year, had 6 and 5 yesterday. Again, home white jerseys for Cass Tech, black trimming down the side, numbers in green, traveling black uniforms for Muskegon, scarlet numbers trimmed in white for them. Final words from each of the coaches, and Chandler, we're ready to go. It's going to be a really interesting first couple of minutes in this one, as we're going to see the pace and we're going to see the style come to the forefront.
We know both of these teams at times can really get up-tempo and run up and down the floor pretty quickly. You just wonder if both teams going to stay true to that right from the start, if things are going to be a little slow to ease into this game. You know, both of these teams really bring a lot of energy, like to get off to a fast start and ride that the rest of the way. Ton of media and photogs even all the way around in front of us, courtside right here. It will be Davis getting the jump against Cooper. Give about
an inch to Terrence T.J. Davis from Muskegon. Big Reds go right to left across the radio dial. Cass Tech goes left to right. And we are about ready to rock and roll in the Division I state championship game from the Breslin Center. Let's crown the big school champion for 2023, shall we? 8 minutes up on the board. Ball is up and away we go. Cass Tech win it straight back out of bounds into the scores table past Mackay Walker, and the Big Reds will get the first offensive possession of the game. Cass Tech will go high pressure man-to-man to open things up. Sidnor throws right corner to Davis. We're underway. He's trapped and throws right wing and around, left wing to Day. To the free throw line, Cunningham kicks right corner, now a skip pass, right block to Davis. Up top, pass to Briggs' tip, but gets there. Jordan Briggs drives, kick out pass, left corner to Day. To the free throw line for Cunningham. Left corner Briggs with a bit of space, launches a three. Off the back rim, no. High leaping rebound down to Robertson. A lot of trapping pressure from Cass Tech to open CT.
Yeah, trying to turn the basketball over, swinging around. The Big Reds moving the basketball, got it in to the high post area with Cunningham, and eventually back out to Briggs for an open three. Just a little bit strong off the iron.
Right wing, here's Christian Hairston, handoff. Launches a triple. Back iron shot, no good from three, and the rebound down to Briggs and the Big Reds. Briggs looking to beat the pressure, kicks left corner, Sidnor, a ton of space, launches a three, rolls off the connector, no good. Rebound into the hands of Davis. He is tied up and fouled by Mackay Walker. Our first foul of the game was 7:06 in the first. Also interesting that first possession for Cass Tech, they showed a little bit of a double when Darius Acuff touched the ball as well, so that's something to watch. Baseline right inbound here for Sidnor the third. Hands above his head. Lobs it into the right, deep right wing for David Day. Day, jump stop, pull-up shot from the free throw line is good. Day is pure, and Muskegon, the first lead of the state championship game, 2-0 Muskegon with 6:59 in the first.
Interesting, David Day yesterday was one of the first guys to get the scoring started for the Big Reds. A couple missed threes in the first two possessions for the Muskegon offense, but then David Day stepping in, hitting the mid-range shot to open the scoring here today.
Muskegon shows some full court man pressure right here. Christian Hairston with the carry. Stops at center court, had some issues, lost and regathered possession, throws left wing here to Acuff. He'll be defended by Anthony Sidnor, who had the matchup yesterday on the top level sophomore. Step back, shot from the elbow, rattles out, rebound down to Briggs. He'll throw it left corner to Day. Catch and shoot three. David Day the third, off the side of the rim, no good. Long rebound chased down by Christian Hairston. He's off and running. Throws it behind the defense to Acuff. Acuff rises and scores off the window of the left-hand layup. 2-2 with 6:24 in the first.
Technicians moving very quickly off the defensive rebound, quickly pushing the ball up the floor. Acuff already running that way and turned that into a transition too.
Full court trap was on for Cass Tech. Muskegon beats it over the timeline today. He's trapped and fouled from either side. The foul was going to be on Kenneth Robertson, his first, the second on Cass Tech. Left side inbound here for Sidnor in the front court, but Cass Tech going high pressure, inbounding into the backcourt here to Briggs. Kind of a 2-3 trap right here as Briggs is walking into it. Skip pass, free throw line, Cunningham. Kicks left corner to David Day. He'll back it out, skip it back, free throw line, Cunningham. Left corner, all alone. Sidnor toes the line, launches a three. Shot high off the back rim, no good. Rebound secured by Hairston. Throws it in off of Cunningham. It'll stay with Cass Tech. And the technicians will go to work once again here in a 2-2 game. 5:54 remaining, just past the 2-minute mark gone in the first quarter. Left side of the floor, Kenneth Robertson run the offense. 6-foot senior forward, had 15 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists yesterday. 2 assists yesterday in the state semifinal. Left wing, here's Hairston. Up top for Walker, swings right wing, catch and shoot three for Coopers. Long off the mark, chase for the ball, right corner on the floor. Briggs able to race out of the ball and hand it on here to Day. Day driving the length of the floor, pull-up shot, free throw line, off the connector, no. Fight for the rebound and a foul on Mackay Walker. He swatted at TJ Davis. Third foul on Cass Tech with 5:25 in the first.
TJ Davis and Stanley Cunningham both very big yesterday. Their contributions in scoring, but also on the offensive glass. 11 offensive rebounds yesterday for the Big Reds, and early on they're getting some positioning off the missed shot, forcing the foul.
Baseline left inbound here for Sidnor in a 2-2 game. Lobs all the way up top for Briggs in front of the timeline. Defended by Corey Sadler Jr., the freshman. Makes his first appearance of the game. Half-court trap is on to Briggs. Rolls around a screen, free throw line. Dump pass. Davis rises and jams with two hands. TJ Davis puts Muskegon back on top with a two-hand flush. 5:10 to go in the first.
That's what Briggs does so well, driving with the basketball. He can attack, go all the way to the rim if he wants to, or otherwise a lot of attention gets paid to him when he drives in the lane like that. Nice find down low for Davis in the jam.
Christian Hairston up top. Handoff right wing for Sadler. The freshman will probe inside. Crosses into the lane, cut off free throw line. Handoff up top for Cooper, gave a bit of a shimmy. Handoff right wing Robertson, catch and shoot three off the connector, no. Rebound down to Davis, now on to Briggs. He's trapped along the baseline by Hairston. Able to get by Hairston with a nice dribble move. Over the timeline, Briggs, no look feed left corner to Day. Rolls off his hand, he regathers, feeds free throw line to Davis. Jump stop, right hand layup, no good. Rebound to Davis, poked away from Davis by Trayvon Cooper. Handoff for Acuff, he's off and running. Acuff to the basket, leaning layup is good. 4 points for Darius Acuff and a 4-4 game with 4:20 in the first.
Yeah, both of the Technicians' baskets have come off some fast runs up the floor, able to get some transition baskets.
Long pass to center court, poked away by Acuff on to Sadler. Sadler, Euro step, right-hand shot, falls short, but a foul, and we can see the style of this game. Cass Tech right now, the one, not Muskegon, looking to push the pace a little bit more on. The foul is on David Day III, his first, and the team's first. 4:08 in the first, 4-4 game.
And the half court, the Muskegon defense holding strong. Anthony Sidnord, again, drawing that matchup against Acuff, denying the basketball pretty much the entire way up the floor every time he gets the chance. The two baskets Acuff has scored have been in transition where he's already up the floor. Sidnord not able to catch up.
First free throw for Sadler is good. Makes it a 5-4 Cass Tech lead. With 4:08 in the first. One more for Sadler, bends the knees, free throw good. Makes it a 6-4 lead for Cass Tech. 4:08 in the first. Mackay Guy will check in for Stanley Cunningham, so a little bit smaller unit out right now for the Big Reds. Near corner inbound onto Briggs, lobs on to Sidnor. He's off and running, throws over the timeline to Day. Day lobs it for Davis, looking for the alley-oop. He can't get a full hand on it, taps it along the baseline, out of bounds, and it'll go back Cass Tech's way. 3:58 in the first, 6-4 Cass Tech, and a timeout on the floor. That's immediate timeout, and we are going to quick step aside and be right back here from the Breslin Center.
Cornerstone University.
The professors are very open to helping whenever they can.
Academic excellence, character-driven athletics, Christ-centered community involvement.
Cornerstone has been a great opportunity for me to grow as a leader, just being able to approach people and be warm and welcoming and hospitable.
Experience it for yourself. Attend a Golden Eagle Day at Cornerstone for a taste of campus life and the chance to meet faculty and staff. To arrange a visit for your high school junior or senior, go to cornerstone.edu. Cornerstone University. Build a life that matters.
A sense of purpose, a higher calling. At Dean Transportation, we call it our passion. It's simply who we are. 60 years of pioneering the best health and safety standards because safe student transportation is essential. We are hard-working folks, connecting children to learning, schools to our communities, and you to a better career. Want to make your community a better place? We'll put you in the driver's seat. Join the Dean family today and help to connect our kids to brighter futures.
All right, welcome back to the Breslin Center here. 3:58 to go in the first. 6-4, Cass Tech leading Muskegon. And in this media timeout here, a much-needed timeout opportunity for Coach Guy to settle things down, because right now, not much of a rhythm to the game, and that's exactly what Cass Tech wants.
Yeah, they've been able to force a couple turnovers, get some points off from that. It's really how most of their 6 points have came for the Technicians. Poking the basketball free, getting out, getting some numbers, turning those into points. Big Reds had some opportunities. They broke the pressure just a minute ago, but then kind of a wild feed up to Davis and ended up turning the basketball over once they got into the front court.
All right, left to right across the radio dial, the Technicians in the home white jerseys will get the ball to start out of the timeout here. 3:58 to go, first quarter, 6-4. Cass Tech with 4 points coming from their terrific sophomore, Darius Acuff. 2 more coming from their terrific freshman, Corey Sadler Jr. Sadler Jr. will be the one to run the offense right here. Muskegon waits in the half court defensively, and Sadler wearing 0 in the home white jerseys will take it up over the timeline with a crossing hand dribble. Hand off right wing on to Trayvon Cooper. The big man hands off for a curling Acuff with a left-hand dribble. Acuff, a little shimmy stutter step as he's defended by an arm spread wise Sidnor. Acuff drives, right block, cut off, spins, exit pass, right wing on to Sadler. Peers at the basket, crosses into the lane, spin move, Sadler lost it, regathers, hands off for Cooper, and Cooper all alone. Pushes it in off the glass with a left hand. 3:30 to go in the first, 8-4, and the full court pressure is on here. Briggs with some issues, skips over the timeline today. Up top, Sidnor, hand off onto a driving Davis to the basket. Two-hand dunk is blocked by Cooper, given on to a running Kenneth Robertson. To the basket, floater off the window, good. Defense and offense again for Cass Tech. 3:14 to go in the first. And a blocking foul also is going to be called at the end, and Robertson will go to the line for a chance for one more.
Guy was underneath the basket trying to draw the charge late as Robertson landed. Ended up kind of a late foul underneath the basket.
Robertson at the line, 14 white. Free throw is good. He has 3, and it's 11-3 Cass Tech, and they are bringing the 2-2-1 full court trap on. Sidnor near side, far side to Briggs. On to Cunningham right in front of the timeline. Gives it back onto a leaping Briggs. He'll split a pair of defenders over the timeline. Briggs, pull-up shot, free throw line. High off the connector, no good. Leaping rebound, Sadler. Lost the handle going down to the floor on to David Day. Front court possession begins. Right wing for Guy. Guy will back it out. Throw left side on to Briggs. Cass Tech will work out of a 2-3 trapping zone right here. Briggs to the top of the key around a screen. Right wing to Sidnor. Sidnor drives right corner, skip pass right wing to Briggs. Briggs through a pair of defenders, whips left side, all alone. David Day III with a college triple. Rattles out, rebound down to Cunningham. Free throw line Sidnor. Floater, too strong, no good. Rebound down now to Hairston. Given on to Acuff, Cass Tech to run. Acuff up the right side of the floor, defended by David Day. He gets trapped up with Sidnor bringing the pressure again. Jumping pass, top of the key, Hairston. Hairston drives, floater strong, rebound to Cooper. Fouled. Or Cooper fouled Cunningham, and Muskegon will take back over. 11-4 Cass Tech, 2:19 in the first, and a lot of energy in this one.
A couple chances on the last offensive trip for the Big Reds. Coming up just a little bit short again, not able to put the basketball in, and then getting back Cunningham, another strong rebound. It's a big part of his game. Already drew one foul on the offensive glass against the Technicians there again. Cooper having to go through him to try to get the rebound.
Far side, Cunningham skips over the timeline to Sidnor, a little bit out of his reach, but he races to it. Give to Guy. Guy into the lane, kicks left corner to Briggs. Dribbles around a defender, launches a 3. Off the connector, no good. Another miss for Muskegon. They are now shooting 16.7% from the field, and they have not hit a 3 yet. Up top, Acuff will back it out. Top of the key, defended by Sidnor. Crossing, Acuff, left side, launches a triple, splash! Darius Acuff with 7, crossing into the triple. 10-point lead for the Technicians, and a timeout from Coach Guy. 1:46 in the first. Cass Tech looking for their first ever state championship, jumping all over the Big Reds early. We'll be right back here from the Breslin.
Bowling is a great time that combines great friends, football, and bowling. Compete against your friends or family, throwing a football at 10 real bowling pins. You can bring in your own food, or they have a pair of 45-foot bars featuring soft drinks and adult beverages. Visit foldingwarehouse.com, Grand Rapids, to reserve your lanes.
Founded in 1969, J&H Family Stores has grown from a single tank truck to over 50 convenience store locations in West Michigan. Our locations offer a variety of fuel options ranging from Exxon, Mobil, Marathon, and Citgo. At many of our stores, you'll also be pleased to find a Tim Hortons or Subway. Find the location near you by visiting myjhfamilystores.com. There's one in your neighborhood.
All right, back underway out of the timeout. Muskegon traveling black uniforms, trail by 10 to a swarming Cass Tech full court attack right now. Jordan Briggs beats a couple of defenders over the timeline, reaching skip pass right wing to Sidnor. Sidnor turns top of the key, handoff right wing for Briggs, who will hold and direct the traffic as Cass Tech sets up their 2-3 zone trap. Right wing for Day. Day skips up top for Sidnor. Left wing to Guy. Left corner Briggs with a little bit of space, launches a 3 off the front rim, no good. And again, an open look that Muskegon unable to get to go from deep. And Darius Acuff will start the Cass Tech attack. 14-4 is their lead. Around a screen, Acuff drives in the lane. Jump pass up top to Cooper is tipped but settled down by Cooper. Drives, Euro step, right-hand shot swatted by Cunningham onto David Day. Day crosses right, fakes left, now drives into a trap. Poked and stolen away by Cooper. Cooper, handoff, Acuff all alone. Bunny floater misses underneath the basket. A foul is called on Mackay Guy, who is trying to draw a charge. That'll be the fourth foul on Muskegon. 56 seconds to go in the first, 14-4. But again, as Justin Watson will check in here from Mackay Guy off his second foul, Chandler, the story right now is Muskegon's getting open looks. They've just not knocked down a three yet, which of course is not like them.
Yeah, no, for sure. They've been shooting some high percentage threes, 0 for 7 from three-point range to start this game early, just 2 of 14 overall.
Acuff, right corner, defended by Sidnor, loses the handle on a shimmy. Out of bounds, Muskegon basketball. One too many moves right there as he was trying to break it down against Sidnor, and the Big Reds will take back over right here. Christian Hairston, after a short rest, will check back into the basketball game as Kenneth Robertson takes a seat. Sean Hodges, the 5'9 senior, also has come in for the Technicians, who will set up their full court trap right here. Near side, right to left, into the backcourt to Briggs. Throws on to Sidnor, races over the timeline. Sidnor with speed, attacks the rack, left-hand layup, swatted off the backboard. A goaltend on Trayvon Cooper, 14-6 game.
Sidnor able to break the pressure there. Right away, cut right through the middle of the lane. The Cass Tech defense not able to set up. Sidnor able to go to the left side as he does so well.
Derek Miller in for the first time for Cass Tech. Muskegon will bring their freshman, James Martin, who had a really good game yesterday, in for Stanley Cunningham. Talented 6'3" wing Martin, and it's his fellow freshman, Corey Sadler, that'll run it on the other side. Muskegon sets up a 1-2-2 three-quarter court trap of their own. Cass Tech beats it left side to Sadler, right wing to Acuff. Acuff, free throw line, Cooper. Right corner on a Hairston. Catch and shoot three. Off the back rim, no. Low rebound taken down by Briggs. He's off and running. Throws on for Martin. Martin, Euro step, attacks the rack. Right-hand shot, swatted into the first row by a standing Hairston, and a technical foul was called on Hairston, who stood over top of Martin. And both sides will be cleared out right here, but a mistake there from the senior Hairston.
Yeah, nice play down low to block the shot from Martin, who was trying to go to the Euro step and get himself into the middle of the lane, but then after the block, standing over top of, steering directly over top of Martin. That's something you can get away with for a second. Once it lingers there for a few, you know a technical foul likely coming. It looked like one official was just going to give a warning. The other one quickly coming in with a technical and cleaning things up there.
So it'll be David Day III that will shoot the technical free throws here for Coach Guy. Day, of course, 16 points, 5 rebounds yesterday. First free throw is good. He has 3. He is now the leading scorer for the Big Reds early in this one, a 14-7 game. One more coming up, and then the basketball for the Big Reds. We'll see if this technical foul kind of changes some of the momentum in the basketball game. One more here for Day. Up and good. Splashes it down. 4 points for David Day III. And Muskegon, the basketball, now trailing 14-8. Watson, Martin, Day, Briggs, Sidnor, the Big Reds unit. Derek Miller, Corey Sadler, Darius Acuff, Isaac Sanders, and Trayvon Cooper out there for Cass Tech, who will set up a 2-3 zone trap right here. Left wing to the lanky junior Watson. Throws across right wing to Day, up onto the Spartan logo to Jordan Briggs. The Wayne State commit will slowly dribble to the right side. 11 seconds to go, waiting for the final shot of the quarter. Handoff to Day. In the right wing, kicks right corner Watson. To the deep right corner, on to Briggs. Races free throw line, turns with 2 seconds. Right wing, catch and shoot 3. Watson at the buzzer, rattles it home. Justin Watson, the triple, and Muskegon comes within 3 to end the first quarter. 14-11, Cass Tech over the Big Reds. We'll be right back here from the Breslin Center and the D1 State Championship game.
Looking for a great place to buy a used truck or car? Check out Extreme Truck and Auto Center, located at 1098 O'Malley Drive in Coopersville. They have a huge selection of trucks, cars, vans, and SUVs. Stop by their lot or give them a call at 616-384-3777. You can check out their inventory at xtacenter.com.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Breslin Center. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer here. Quarter break, 14-11. after one. Cass Tech leads, and I think that technical foul that was committed by Hairston off his block might be the moment, based on what happens down the stretch in this one, especially if Muskegon wins, that we look back to as the turning point of the game. It was kind of unnecessary for him as he, first quarter block, stood over top of the younger player that he had just blocked. And out of that, in the final 12 seconds of the quarter, a quick 5-0 run for Muskegon. They're back within a score.
Yeah, definitely a big couple minutes there to close out the first quarter from the Big Reds. The Technicians jumping out to the early lead, up 14-4 with a minute 53 to go in the first quarter, and then a little flurry at the end to get Muskegon right back in it, possibly changing momentum as we move into the second quarter.
And it's the definition we've been talking about. I mean, obviously Michigan Sports Radio covered all the districts. We've had every Muskegon game in the regions and the quarters as well, and we've said it time after time with this Muskegon team for Coach Guy is their senior leadership just seems to find a way to close games, to rally back, to end runs, and this has been an exact example of that.
Yeah, they stay composed. They really do. Early on down in a state championship game, you've got a team providing a lot of full court pressure, a lot of pressure in general, even in the half court, and down early double digits. Not easy to stay calm in that moment, but you see not giving up in the first quarter there, staying strong, finding the right spot to go with the basketball, and chipping into that lead to get themselves right back in the game.
Breslin Center continuing to fill up, by the way, right now for this one. I think may have caught some people off guard. The weather that you had, in particular on the drive on 96, and as there was like inches of ice and snow, as always terrific to have here on March 25. But continuing to fill in a little bit here at the Breslin Center throughout this D1 state championship, and I think we are ready to light the wick on this game as well. 26-2 Muskegon, 27-1 Cass Tech. They both have been top 3 teams in the state pretty much all year long. Cass Tech has been ranked number 1 in the state in most polls for most of this season. And the second 8 minutes of the game are up. Again, Muskegon, the traveling black uniforms, scarlet numbers trimmed in white. The home whites for Cass Tech with green numbers trimmed in black and black trimming down the side for Coach Hall's unit, who is taking his time getting one last word in his signature suit. Coach Guy standing at the bench with his arms up, wanting the play to get going, and I believe the explanation is going to be that there was first off, a technical free thrower of some nature that's going to be shot here by David Day. First one is good. It is another tech called on Cass Tech. And it's again Day at the line. There was no explanation about this that I saw, but Day at the line again, and he rattles that one home. So he goes 4 for 4 in technical free throws. The announcement, a technical foul assessed to Cass Tech, it must have just been to the bench then. I did not see any more explanation. It was obviously a long media timeout out of the quarter in general, and then we waited around as Muskegon now gets the basketball back. David Day pulls up from the free throw line, rattles out, fight for the rebound, into the hands of Kenneth Robertson, and he'll take it up here for the Technicians. Down the left side of the lane, Robertson, runner, whips the hands free, blocking foul as he lost the handle out of bounds, and he will go to the line and shoot a couple right here. Foul will be on James Martin. 4th on Muskegon, 1st on the Muskegon freshman. But yeah, interesting development as something came from the bench, maybe from Coach Hall right there, that got the technical called.
Yeah, I think it's still potentially looking for an explanation there, but definitely changing the momentum. 2 technicals in a very short amount of time to get the Big Reds almost all the way back to even to start the second quarter. But Big Reds have been trying to take a charge underneath the basket, getting the feet set to cut off the driving lane. And they've had at least 3 now where they've been called for a block just a little bit late, not being granted the charge, and shooting free throws for Cass Tech.
First free throw good for Robertson. Second free throw splashes down as well. He has 5 and puts Cass Tech back up 3, and they bring their 2-2-1 trap back on. Sidnor running the baseline, inbounds to Briggs. Rolls off the hands of Briggs and out of bounds. Baseline left, front court inbound coming up for Cass Tech as they force some havoc there with the full court pressure.
Yeah, Sidnor expecting Briggs to go more towards the corner and let the bounce pass a little bit too far out of Briggs' reach.
Robertson looking to lob in, throws all the way in front of the timeline to a high-reaching Sadler, who goes behind his head with a right hand to grab it. Sadler, right wing against a double team, throws free throw line hard from Makai Walker, through the hands of Walker, out of bounds. Trading turnovers, and Muskegon takes it back over with another baseline inbound coming up right here, right to left, and Cass Tech going to bring some full court havoc pressure on. Sidnor, right side to Martin, split a pair of defenders. The freshman runs over the timeline. Left corner, Watson, toes the line, launches a three, splash! Another triple for Justin Watson off the bench, and Muskegon has knotted the game at 16.
Watson's been huge early for the Big Reds. Threes were not falling for Muskegon in the first quarter until Watson hit one right at the end, and there another one.
Makai Walker drives, right-hand layup off the window, and good. Muskegon was again trying to draw an offensive foul right there. No call came instead. Inbound back on here to David Day III. Thrown over the timeline to Watson. Jump pass top of the key, Sidnor. Dribbles to the free throw line. Jump stop, hand off, catch and shoot three. Watson tried to bank it in, no good. Rebound spiked out of bounds. Last touch by Sidnor, and Cass Tech will take over. 6:53 in the second, 18-16 Cass Tech.
Yeah, Watson feeling it there a little bit. Made his three at the end of the first quarter, that one, and then now right from the top of the key, trying to get one off a little bit strong, almost banked it in, but not falling on that one.
Right wing Kenneth Robertson, the senior, will hold, defended man-to-man by Day. Up top for Walker, swings left wing to Acuff, double teamed. Kick pass, left corner for Sadler. Jabs, drives in the lane, whips the hands free, reverse layup short, rebound down to Walker, put back high off the connector, no good. Leaping rebound, Cooper, a third chance, off the glass, good, and a foul. Trayvon Cooper on the third chance, muscles it home. I think they'll get the foul on Jordan Briggs, they will. That's the first on Briggs, the fifth on Muskegon with 6:28 in the second. 20-16 Cass Tech, as Sean Hodges will check in here for Kenneth Robertson.
Technicians dominating the offensive glass on that possession. Cooper and Walker going back and forth from right to left, showing some patience, getting the rebound, and then trying to go back up with the basketball.
Cooper at the line, right-hand free throw, rattles home. 6'5" Cooper now with 5 in this one. He averages 11.5 points per game on the year. Highly athletic big man. Again, a pretty short team for Cass Tech, as you can see the way they pressure the ball. And they will go back to the Havoc full court pressure. Sidnor runs the baseline, right side onto Briggs. Curls along the baseline into a double team trap. Briggs throws near side to Day. Day with a left-hand dribble, breaking by a defender, crosses over the timeline with a dribble move, and gets fouled from behind. That'll be the 6th foul on Cass Tech. One more, and Muskegon will be shooting free throws. You know you got to have a good trap when this Muskegon backcourt has issues beating your trap.
Yeah, you've got 3 guys that can all handle the basketball very, very well, and having some issues at times getting the basketball off the floor.
Sidnor over the timeline to the left elbow, spin move into the lane, right-hand layup rattles out, but a foul is called on the shot, and it will send Sidnor to the line. Cass Tech bench maybe wanted to travel on that extended spin move, but Sidnor III will go to the line. He has just 2 in this game for the senior. 6:15 in the second. That is the 7th foul on Cass Tech. By the way, now 2 fouls on Makai Walker. He's really the only slight foul trouble developing for Cass Tech. Sidnor, right foot in front of the left, offset at the line. Brings them together, right-hand shot, good. One more coming up for Sidnor, a 21-17 game now with 6:15. Sidnor wears 4 in the traveling black uniforms. Ferris State commit, had 11 points in the semifinal yesterday. He averages a little over 14 points per game, along with nearly 6 steals per game typically as well. Second free throw off the connector, no good, but what a rebound is snagged by Watson over top of a man. He'll get it back right corner. 3 on the way, falls short for Watson. Rebound down to a chasing Corey Sadler. Sadler drives to the basket, floater strong, offensive foul. David Day finally got the call he was looking for. 2nd foul on Sadler, 8th on the team, and Muskegon takes back over with 6:04, down 21-17 in the second.
Muskegon finally getting the charge call. They've been close on a bunch of them early in this game. David Day staying in front of Sadler. Sadler a little out of control as he's trying to attack to the left side. Knocked over David Day in the process.
Sidnor baseline, looking to inbound, got it near side on to Briggs. A little bit of space. Briggs throws backwards to Day. Whip pass right side just before the timeline to Watson. Over the timeline to Elijah Langston, who's out there. Handoff on to Day. Drives, right corner, catch and shoot 3. Watson off the side of the rim, no. Long rebound up top, secured by Briggs. Briggs handoff left wing for Sidnor with 5:45 in the second. He'll reset the offense. The trapping 2-3 zone moves on to him. He hands off onto the Spartan logo at center floor on to Briggs. Left wing on to Sidnor. Sidnor, screen from Langston, rolls top of the key, crossover dribble. Sidnor to back it out, throws with 2 hands, right wing for Day. Day probing inside, backs it out, top of the key, throws left side to Sidnor, and spiked out of bounds by Kenneth Robertson. 5:24 in the second, 21-17 Cass Tech. Sidnor to throw in left side into the backcourt to Day. Again, Cass Tech in the half court settles into a 2-3 trap. They'll bring it on to Briggs over the timeline. Left side to Sidnor. He's pressured, and he travels as Sidnor elevates, goes back down, shuffles the feet. Could have been a travel, up and down, anything they want to call it. It'll go back Cass Tech's way.
Yeah, the double team coming as soon as Sidnor catching the basketball, not allowing him to try to use the dribble and attack. Sidnor jumping, thinking he could try to spin and throw a pass out of there, but realizing he likely wasn't going to, just had to hold on to the basketball.
Darius Acuff defended by Sidnor. Left elbow, crosses down the right side of the lane. Floater off the back rim, no. Rebound touched out, secured on the leap by Mekhi Walker. Put back, misses everything short, but a foul as he's hacked on the shot. And Mekhi Walker, the senior guard, will go to the line here for the Technicians. Fouls on Elijah Langston, his first, team 6, 5:02 in the second. 21-17, Cass Tech. Mekhi Walker, 6'2" senior, wears white short sleeves underneath the white uniform. First free throw with the right hand flicked up and misses strong. Couple changes for each team. James Martin comes in for Muskegon. Sean Hodges will check in for Cass Tech. Also, we're going to see Jalen Stanton check in for the first time for Cass Tech. He'll be coming in for Kenneth Robertson, who will take a seat with 5:02 in the second. 2 fouls right now on Sadler, 2 on Walker, and 2 on Cooper. So a little bit maybe of developing foul trouble for Cass Tech right now after these last couple fouls they have taken. At the line, free throws up and pure for Mekhi Walker. He has 3 and makes it a 5-point, 22-17 lead. Full court trap is on for the Technicians. Inbounded to David Day, near corner. Low dribble, spins away from the defender, races over the timeline. Here's Day, left corner to Martin. The freshman drives the baseline, jump pass up top for Day. Swings right wing Sidnor, catch and shoot 3, good! 6 points for Sidnor in a 2-point game.
Yeah, really a couple of great moves from Day to break the pressure on his own and then eventually get into the offense. Sidnor hitting the 3.
Nice feed. Acuff hits a driving Walker. Walker drives, right hand layup off the glass and good. 24-20, inbounded to Briggs, and Briggs is fouled by a grabbing Stanton. His first, team's 9th, and that will send Briggs to the line to shoot a 1-and-1 right here with 4.5 in the second.
Big Red's shooting just 26% so far in the first half to Cass Tech's 44, but staying right around the 4-point deficit here, a chance to cut into that.
Miller, Robertson will check back in for Cass Tech. Stanton will take a seat. Unit right now, Cooper, Walker, Miller, Robertson, and Acuff for Cass Tech. First free throw for Briggs is good. He has another one coming up. That was the first point of the game for Jordan Briggs. He's been shut effectively out of this game so far for the Big Reds, 24-21. 0 of 4 shooting right now for Briggs off his 19-7 he had yesterday. First one for Briggs, rattles home, got the friendly spin at the end. 2 for Briggs and a 2-point game again with 4.5 in the second. Acuff slowly over the timeline, defended by an arm spread wide Sidnor. Acuff crosses him left elbow, backs out behind the arc, whips hard, right corner on a Derek Miller, drives, cut off right elbow, hand off short right corner to Mekhi Walker, gave a shimmy back right corner on to Miller, jump stop, launches a triple, off the back rim, rolls out, rebound, in the air, flying to the basket, Mekhi Walker with 2 hands, touches a putback home, 26-22.
Really honest, the Big Reds getting some second chance offensive rebounds. Now it's the Cass Tech Technicians.
Briggs, left corner, hands off for Day. Triple try, splash. David Day the third, a big answer. He has 9, and again is turbocharging the Muskegon attack early, just like yesterday. It's a 1-point game, 26-25 Cass Tech. The Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame celebrates the city's rich sports history by honoring prominent West Michigan athletes and those who have contributed greatly to sports on a local, state, or national level. The GRS-HOF also presents annual events in support of West Michigan athletics and raises funds to support local youth organizations and charities. Follow the Grand Rapids Sports Hall of Fame on Facebook and check out pictures and biographies of all 181 inductees at GRS-HOF.com. MHSAA.com. And have you heard the exciting news that Michigan Basketball Academy and Storm Basketball have joined forces to bring you the best basketball experience in West Michigan? For more information, visit MichiganBasketballAcademy.com. Welcome courtside to the Breslin Center. And again, it's tough to even figure out how it's happened, but Muskegon just staying in this game. Whenever you see a big play made by Cass Tech, the senior-laden Muskegon group seems to trade a 2 for a 3 or do whatever it takes to just inch closer and closer, plus those 2 technicals as well, adding into this game.
Yeah, that definitely helped at the end of the first quarter there to get them back in, cut into that 10-point deficit they were facing early on, but some big plays here in the second quarter to get it all the way back down to 1. David Day continues to be impressive, scoring the basketball, keeping this Big Reds team right in it.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a fascinating one for this one for certain. Going to be interesting what the rest of this game looks like. I think Cass Tech, we've seen them, I think, just touch the beginning of some of what they can do pressure-wise. I think when they've brought some of the full-court pressure, some of the looks, it has created some big-time problems from this Muskegon attack. But I'd say the last 2 or 3 times the trap has been brought, there seems to be more comfort and more understanding on what trapping looks Cass Tech is bringing. And when you have Briggs, Day, and Sidnor handling the ball plus guy, you're eventually going to figure it out.
Yeah, that's one of the things that the more they throw that look at the Big Reds, the more comfortable you figure Muskegon's going to get at breaking that pressure. When you've got the experienced guys like that, you've got multiple ball handlers in Briggs, Day, and Sidnor, and then you've also got Mackay Guy. You can bring off the bench if you need an additional ball handler. Guy in a little bit of foul trouble with the 2 fouls on the bench a little bit in this first half, but multiple ball handlers, seeing a lot of pressure, and hope for the Big Red's sake, looking to get a little bit more comfortable at breaking that. Right
now, Muskegon out-rebounding Cass Tech 12-5, and you can see that when you mix that with the field goal percentages. I mean, Muskegon shooting sub 30% right now from the field, and they're shooting sub 29% from behind the three-point arc, the bread and butter of this Muskegon attack traditionally. Christian Hairston back out on the floor. He'll run the attack as Muskegon will extend a trapping pressure to the three-quarter court. Lob right corner to Cooper. He's doubled, throws up top to a leaping Hairston. Left wing to Robertson. Robertson drives the baseline, whips the hands free. Hands off for Walker. Right-hand push shot blocked by Martin. Came up top for Acuff. Acuff all alone launches a 3 and buries it. He has 10, 29-25.
That was a nice block from Langston in the lane to block the short-range shot, but it got it batted right out to Acuff for the open 3.
Day hands off for Langston, left block, back left corner to Day. Corrals it, launches an open 3, off the connector, no, and the ball bounces over the back of the backboard, out of bounds, and Cass Tech will take back over. 3:23 in the second, 29-25. You know, Cass Tech has been gambling with the way they've been trapping with pressure. They've given up a lot of open looks. Muskegon, who always hits open looks, have not hit them so far. You got to think at some point in time more are going to start falling. Acuff out of the trap, kicks up top to Cooper. The big man launches a 3. Off the front rim, no. Rebound down to Langston, and Muskegon off and running here with Jordan Briggs. Briggs, left corner, Sidnor. Up fake drives and is fouled by Christian Hairston on a reach as he got kind of beaten off the up fake move. 2 at the line into the double bonus right here. That foul on Hairston will be his first and send Sidnor back to the line. Sidnor was 6 in this game. He's done quite a bit of work at the stripe as well.
A nice recognition off the catch from Sidnor, seeing Hairston on the closeout, using the shot fake, and then trying to drive along the baseline, knowing he's likely going to get part of the body and a trip to the free throw line.
First free throw is pure for Sidnor. He has 7. He has another one coming as brings Muskegon back within a score right here and get it back within a 2-point game. One more here for Anthony Sidnor III. Left wrist is taped up right now. Bends the knees, right hand free throw, rattles home. Hung on the front rim and fell. 29-27 with 3 minutes to go in the second quarter of the Division I state championship game here on Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here from the Breslin Center. Darius Acuff, handoff, left corner, catch and shoot 3. Robertson spins home. 8 points for Robertson. A big answer to make it a 5-point game for the Technicians. Briggs trapped in the backcourt, throws in front of the timeline to Day. Day, stutter step, faking, throws over the timeline now on to Martin. The freshman runs at the basket, corrects midair, 2-hand feed strong, rebound along the end line, slapped at a couple of times, and eventually touched out of bounds by Mackay Walker. It will stay with Muskegon baseline right. 2.5 to go in the second, 32-27. Justin Watson will check in here for Elijah Langston. A bit smaller, no traditional post presence out there right now for Muskegon, looking to spread the floor, and a timeout from the Cass Tech bench as well. It's not too late to apply for admission at Ferris State University, and you have to make sure that you sign up for orientation. Ferris State also offers summer camps in all sports. Check them out at ferris.edu. Golf Emporium has a surplus of golf bags, and anyone who mentions Michigan Sports Radio will receive $35 off any golf bag. And final broadcast of this basketball season, of this school year here for game night, unless we wind up doing some baseball or some spring. But plan for sure this is it. So one last thank you, of course, to Centennial Securities and to the Scout Bates Farmers Insurance Agency, who are our presenting sponsors here with the Game Night, MichiganGameNight.com broadcast on Michigan Sports Radio. Very fortunate for all of their support, and looking forward to continuing that in the future as well. All right, Chandler, both teams are actually breaking out, so never mind the points that we were about to make, as this game is going to continue to roll on right here. It's been an intense one for sure. A 32-27 lead for Cass Tech. And a game I think the technicians have been very happy with the general style of the game. And Muskegon maybe almost a little happy it's as close as it is right now with some of the struggles they have had, especially shooting the basketball. They are shooting 26.9% from the field, 26.7% from three. Day left wing feeds free throw line to Sidnor. Jabs around the defender. Drives, leaning layup strong. Blocking foul called. Sidnor, the third, will go to the line and shoot two. Foul is on Walker. That is his third.
There's one for the technicians that I think are pretty consistently being called. We haven't seen many charges. We saw one for the Muskegon defense get called, but for the most part, that's been pretty consistently been called a block when it's right there, kind of 50-50 between charge or block.
First free throw, Sidnor off the connector, no good. We'll have one more coming up. Terrence T.J. Davis will check in here for Watson for the Big Reds. Davis now will match up against Trayvon Cooper in the post. One more at the line for Sidnor. With a right hand, free throw up and pure. 9 points now for Anthony Sidnor the third, and a 32-28 lead for the technicians. And Cass Tech will go to work here. Acuff defended by Sidnor, lobs left wing on to Robertson. Robertson drives, free throw line, turns, pull-up jumper, rolls home. A tough one for Robertson. He's in double digits scoring, and it's 34-28. Pressure on Sidnor. He'll run over the timeline. Sidnor has the ball stripped from behind by Miller through a lot of contact. No foul called. Handoff left wing onto Acuff. Crossover triple try. Off the back rim, no. Rebound Cooper. Put back blocked and fouled. Trayvon Cooper to the line. 34-28 with 1:47 in the second. That's a real demarcation point of how much pressure and contact is going to be allowed right there, as that ball was through kind of a half tackle, ripped away at the free throw line and went back the other way with Cass Tech.
Yeah, it looked like Muskegon had the pressure broken. Sidnor bringing it up the floor, either going to attack or pull the basketball out, and end up getting the ball ripped out. Looked like there might have been a foul and then maybe even a travel afterwards, but no call, and technicians getting another chance offensively.
First one no good at the line for Cooper. He has another one coming up right here. Christian Hairston checks back in for the technicians. Second right-hand free throw is good for Cooper. He now has 6 in this one, and he will take a seat as Amari Johnson will check in for Cooper for the first time right here. Johnson, a 6'6" junior. Half-court trap is on. Feed right wing onto Sidnor. Pull-up triple off the back rim, no. Touching putback, rolls out for Watson. Taken down by Hairston, thrown over the timeline to a running Acuff. Acuff, crossover top of the key. Shaking it up on Briggs. Drives down the right side of the lane. Jump pass, Hairston. Pull-up jumper, free throw line, back rim, no. Rebound into the hands of Robertson, who pushes it home off the glass. 37-28. A flurry of scoring right here by the technicians. They lead by 9 with 1:17 in the second. Briggs top of the key against the trap, right wing to Sidnor. Sidnor skipping up top, poked and stolen away by Acuff. Acuff drives to the basket, leaner around a defender, rolls out, board down to Sidnor, runs through some contact, dribbles over the half-court line, throws right corner to Briggs. Briggs drives to the basket, left-hand free throw tips, fight for the rebound, foul on the Big Reds and Cunningham. It will go Cass Tech's way, and they will go to the line for a 1-and-1.
Really the pace picking up, both teams up and down the floor quickly. Muskegon forcing a miss down low and then quickly getting out. Briggs a chance to drive on the right side, kind of a tough angle for him to go at the rim, ended up missing the shot. Cunningham picking up the foul, trying to go for the offensive rebound.
First foul on Cunningham, 8th on the team. Christian Hairston will go to the line right here. He has 3 rebounds, 1 assist, has not scored yet in this game. Hairston bends the knees, right hand free throw, good. Rolls it home. One more coming up here for the Cass Tech 6'2" senior. 38-28, a 10-point lead for the Technicians. What a finish to the second quarter they've had with 55 seconds to go in the frame. Second free throw splashes down. Hairston hits them both, and he will check out of the ball game as Jalen Stanton will come in his place. Right to left, here comes Jordan Briggs and the Big Reds with 54 seconds. Let's see how quickly they work as they'll face up against the trapping 2-3 half-court zone. Sidnor, left wing, bounces around a Cunningham screen. Sidnor into the lane, kick pass. Right corner, catch and shoot 3. David Day is good. 12 points for Day. He again is leading the way for Muskegon, brings him with an 8.
Day continue to shoot the ball effectively when they really need a shot. Down 10 once again. Double digits. Day making a shot from the corner to try to get the thing a little closer before halftime.
Jalen Stanton pressured up top here by Justin Watson as the Technicians looking to hold for the final shot with 18 seconds to go. Throws left wing to Acuff. Spins on Sidnor. Giving him a bit of a shoulder. Driving. Left-hand layup. Misses it all strong. Rebound down to a high-reaching Amari Johnson. And Johnson pushes it home off the glass on the putback. Another board for Cass Tech. They lead by 10. Push pass. Right wing. Catch and shoot 3. Day. Off the front rim. No. Rebound down to Robertson. That'll do it for the first half. 41-31. Cass Tech jumping all over Muskegon in the first half of this one on both ends of the floor. Maybe the worst shooting half of basketball Muskegon has had all year long. Welcome in to the Centennial Securities halftime show. And I don't think Coach Hall, and really for the entire season, top-ranked Technicians could have asked for much more than how they've played in this one.
Yeah, really. Outside of a couple minutes at the end of the first quarter, some miscues and a couple technical fouls, they've played really well throughout this first half, building up a double-digit lead a couple different times and taking that into the half.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, Coach Hall talking to Valley Sports Detroit on his way off the floor. And at the same time, the radio network from MHSAA hearing from Coach Keith Guy, they have quite the messages, I think, and differing messages that are coming up here in the locker room. The question is, Cass Tech probably knows that Muskegon has some things to counter what they've been doing in terms of the trap breaking, although the pressure at the end of the second quarter maybe changes your mind about that. Really curious what Keith Guy's going to be able to draw up to stop the bleeding and to try to get something back here.
Yeah, a little unfamiliar position in unfamiliar territory for this Muskegon team. A lot of times they're the ones up big the course of the season. I mean, both these teams don't lose a lot. 3 losses combined, but Muskegon quite often ahead at this point in the game. So some adjustments going to be made there, and you would think defensively a different look that they're going to be throwing potentially at Cass Tech, and then offensively trying to find some composure and some ways to break the full court press that Cass Tech's been throwing at them.
And remember, an extended 15-minute halftime show here for the state championship that these teams will get to work things over. 41-31 at the break. Cass Tech leading Muskegon. We're going to step aside here on the Centennial Securities halftime show. When we come back, we'll get you some scoring and stat recap from a really, really high level and high intensity played first half of basketball. Right back here on Game Night.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings. College coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Michigan Sports Academies offers quality youth sports in Grand Rapids, Holland, and Muskegon. With a wide variety of programming, MSA has something for new athletes who are just starting out to experienced athletes looking to take their game to the next level. Year-round programming is offered in basketball, lacrosse, soccer, and volleyball. Your athlete will love the quality of instruction from experienced coaches and state-of-the-art facilities conveniently located in Grand Rapids and along the lakeshore. Check us out at MichiganSportsAcademies.com.
Don't just find yourself, make yourself. Start businesses, build bridges, save lives, raise a whole city. This is your future, so take it and move all of us forward.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly,
you've got squirrels in your engine and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
It's a 3-week journey, unmatched in almost all sports. It takes 8 games of perfection, from Monday night at your home gym in districts to the grand stage of Michigan's largest college basketball arena. Neighborhood district foes for a week, then the best of the region, the best of your quarter of the state, and eventually all eyes on the best of the best from each side of the state, with it all on the line in late March. Every game is a winner-takes-all and a pure display on the hardwood, with styles of play as varied as the corners of the state the teams travel from. To win, you'll need to conjure up some of your own March magic. No one makes it through this run unscathed. There's stories of perfection, stories of redemption, and stories of some of the great names and teams to lace them up in the mitten. We've seen them all here. The greatest teams and players on the west side conquering all. Title-winning moments only March supplies. And the end of dynasties and miracle runs that counter the unmatched elation with an equal emotional crushing. In the MHSAA basketball tournament, moments make the journey. Don't blink, because you might miss one. It's an arduous 3-week battle, but it goes by pretty quick. This is March on MGN. And welcome back to Game Night and March on MGN. And yeah, Chandler, we're about to see. We've already saw in a crazy D4 game before us Tri-Unity Christian falling to Munising, who, I mean, that crazy UP community certainly came out. I mean, I think there are more people here for the D4 game than the D1 game even, and they're making a lot of noise down the stretch in a crazy low-scoring slugfest in that one. But we're going to see a championship moment and a championship losing moment here shortly. And right now, it looks like it's going to be Cass Tech potentially on their way to a win with how well they've played this game. It's almost a reverse of yesterday. We talked at the half yesterday about how I think Orchard Lake St. Mary's was happy to only be down 10 points at the half, or roughly what it was. It's a similar story, I think, for Muskegon right now, the way that this game's kind of been played.
Yeah, it's been a game that Cass Tech has really controlled most of the way. I think Muskegon had it down to 4 points with just over 2 minutes to go, feeling pretty good, and then some scoring there at the end of the first half by Cass Tech, but for the first half, the Big Reds shooting just 26%, and for the most part staying in the game to Cass Tech's 40+%, 45%. Just getting a couple extra shots, but really had a lot of open looks that were not falling for the Big Reds.
Yeah, and I mean, we can go over some of the team-wide stats as well in just a minute, but I mean, take us through kind of some of the scoring leaders and kind of just some of the stats that are really standing out from this 10-point lead as Cass Tech's gotten all over Muskegon in this first couple quarters of play.
Yep, for the Big Reds, leading scorer, David Day with 12 points, Sidnor 9, Watson with 6, and then Davis and Briggs each with 2 points. For the technicians, Robertson led the way with 12, Acuff with 10, Walker with 7, Cooper with 6, and Johnson and Sadler each with 2 points.
Yeah, and you look at team-wide stats right now, Chandler. Cass Tech, 45% shooting from the field. Muskegon shooting 26.7. Muskegon, a higher three-point percentage right now, 27.8 to their 26.7 field goal percentage. A 30% field goal or a three-point field goal percentage for Cass Tech. So both teams really struggling from deep right now. You can see both teams 6 assists, but the story of the game, 23 rebounds for Cass Tech, 15 for Muskegon. There was a point where I mentioned during the game how Muskegon was leading the rebound battle, and that's when they were a little bit closer throughout that second quarter run. I mean, Cass Tech started grabbing rebounds left and right, and that's really what turbocharged them. Is both teams were missing a lot of shots, but Cass Tech got offensive rebound after offensive rebound in particular.
Yeah, 8 offensive rebounds for Cass Tech along with that. Most of those coming in the second quarter. They're getting some second chance opportunities off drives from Acuff, a lot of attention and help being pulled his way, and that leaving the weak side open. Some chances for some putbacks right underneath the basket that really helped extend some of the technicians' lead.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting second half on how Coach Guy and Muskegon's going to work this, because it's reverse of many games. You know, Muskegon typically, like, the misnomer with them is that they are exclusively just a run and run and run type team. Like, they do run some half court, and they are comfortable going slower, and they have so much talent that they obviously can run that way. But this is a weird game where they normally aren't actively looking to slow the game down. They are actively looking to slow the game way down, but they can't because Cass Tech's trapping them, and the only way to score baskets is to beat it with speed over the timeline, so they're going to be, by nature, incredibly sped up.
Yeah, I think it's going to be kind of a weird dynamic where, yeah, they have been going fast. That's kind of what they do, but in this game, they're trying to slow down as much as they can, but also you really can't because you're forced into going up-tempo, and so they were able to break some of the full-court pressure at times and then just missing some shots underneath the basket, whether that was dumping it down to Davis and having some blocks at the rim or losing the basketball and turning it over kind of once you've already initially broken some of the full-court pressure. Also had some threes that they were able to kick out, and threes that sometimes are quite often falling for this Muskegon team, high percentage three-point shooters, and shots just not dropping. But it's kind of a weird place for this Muskegon team to be where they're used to going fast but kind of uncomfortable in this game, and that's unusual for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Cass Tech out and warming up right now. We'll take one more break here on the Centennial Securities halftime show. Come back and have a lot more still to break down as you get ready for the second half of the Division I state championship game. 41-31 Cass Tech over Muskegon. At the break, we'll be right back here from the Breslin.
Can you name the 10 winners of the Nobel Peace Prize or the last 5 Miss Americas? The point is the applause dies and the achievements are forgotten. But can you name 3 friends who helped you through tough times or teachers who encouraged you in school? We remember those who make a difference in our lives. I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. What matters to us are the personal relationships we have with our clients, helping them build a secure financial future. As a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
Daniel the deer danced everywhere. He pranced through fields and jigged through rivers. Then he saw it. What a stage! A place no deer had dared dance before. The hood of a brand new car. And the car was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Deer Dance Floor, December 1st, 2014. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Need to replace that worn-out carpet or floor? Floor Coverings International makes it easy. They bring their mobile showroom to you. Save yourself the trip and gas shopping around. See a wide selection of carpet, hardwood, laminate, and vinyl in the lighting of your own home. Go to floorcoveringsinternational.com today for your free consultation. Work with one team for a hassle-free experience from the quote to installation. And each Floor Coverings International business is independently owned and operated, so they are local business owners in our community. Floor Coverings International, the flooring store at your door.
Are you looking for a new career? Aetna Supply is hiring. Aetna Supply is Michigan's #1 plumber wholesaler, servicing local customers for over 50 years. They offer great benefits, a 401k with company match, quarterly bonuses, and no Sundays. Once again, check them out at aetnasupply.com/careers or click on their logo on the Michigan Sports Radio homepage.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the Breslin Center and the Centennial Securities Halftime Show. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer, and game night on Michigan Sports Radio. We've reached our final half of basketball on game night for the year as we will wrap up the Division I championship game here
in these final 2 quarters. It's going to be a very interesting final 2 quarters. Interesting of note, we have the extended halftime show. Cass Tech took about 10 minutes or so of the 15 minutes during halftime in the locker room. They've been out warming up, 2 minutes on the warm-up clock. The Big Reds, just as I'm saying this, coming out of the tunnel now, so I think they may have gotten a little bit of a tongue lashing, a little bit of a strategy adjustment from Keith Guy.
Yeah, I think definitely using every minute there to try to come up with what this game plan is going to be in the second half, what they can do to switch things up, finding an offensive tack, a way to break some of the full court pressure, maybe what they can do to make some adjustments of their own defensively to try to force the Cass Tech offense into some turnovers. Only 4 for the Technicians in the first half.
Yeah, I mean, that's at the end of the day, we talked about it. Really, the key matchup of the game was controlling turnovers, controlling the pace of the game, and for Muskegon looking to create some flow, for Cass Tech looking to create the opposite. I mean, if that was our key to the game, I think we did a pretty good job of determining why this is a 10-point lead for Cass Tech. Not to pat ourselves on the back, but I think that's what happened in this first half. Cass Tech controlled that part of the game.
And they did, yeah. There was a couple times Muskegon able to slow things and get into a bit of a rhythm, but for the most part, Cass Tech keeping things uncomfortable for Muskegon, forcing them to play at a speed that they are somewhat comfortable with. But when you've got a talent like this and a Cass Tech team that's been doing that for a long time, all season long, it's a little bit of a different test.
I think I just saw 5 shots simultaneously, all splash down like in a rhythm for Cass Tech in the warm-up. I'm not sure I've ever seen that before. That might be a bad omen for Muskegon in the second half if they're feeling, but neither team feeling it shooting. I mean, both teams, Cass Tech a little bit better, 45% shooting, mostly just because they had a lot of easy looks and runouts and second chance points, and that's the main thing. The second chance points were dominated by Cass Tech. Muskegon, the story of the first half that could change in the second half, Muskegon had a lot of wide open looks that they always hit, that they did not hit. This is by far the worst shooting day of the season for Coach Guy's team. So you can talk strategy as much as you want. Sometimes to win a basketball game, you have to just make shots, and I think that's kind of where it is for Muskegon right now. Is they have to change some things, but for the most part, if they play the way they did, they get the same looks they did, and they actually hit them, like they always hit them, they'll be back in the game.
Yeah, you think at some point things can even out a little bit where this Muskegon team can shoot a very high percentage from the field. Not so good in the first half that at some point some of those looks are going to start to fall. You can scheme guys open all day and break the pressure and get the look you're looking for, but at some point you're going to have to start hitting those shots. And, of course, we know the talent and the shooting ability from multiple guys on this Muskegon team, but someone's going to need to step up and continue to hit those looks.
All right, both teams back on the floor, and we are ready to go with the second half here from the Breslin Center. 41-31 at the break. And the third 8 minutes of the game ready to go. Cass Tech home white jerseys, traveling blacks from Muskegon. Lineups that open the game will open the second half. Day, Briggs, Sidnor, Davis, Cunningham, Cooper, Acuff, Walker, Hairston, Robertson. Right to left over the timeline, Cass Tech will get the basketball to start. Kenneth Robertson, who had 12 points to lead his team in scoring, will open up the offense here for Cass Tech. 12 points also for David Day III, led Muskegon in first half scoring. Skip pass to Cooper, top of the key, defended by Davis. Swing pass right wing on to Robertson. A little bit of a slower offensive set to open things up here out of the half court for Cass Tech. Right wing skip pass on to Acuff. Acuff defended here by Sidnor. Crosses him up, drives, cut off right elbow, kick pass right corner on to Robertson. Working the jab step, starts a left-hand dribble, defended here by David Day III. Drives right baseline, stops the block, working on the pivot foot now, and lobbing into the right wing on to Acuff. 40 seconds off the clock on this possession. Acuff bounces around a screen into the right corner with it. Throws it out of a double team all the way up top for Hairston. Swing pass, left corner, catch and shoot three. Cooper, splash! What a possession that was. They worked the ball around. Cooper now with 9 points in a 44-31 lead. Briggs working with speed, drives in the lane, left elbow, pull-up floater is good. A big answer from Briggs, and now Cass Tech throws it back down the other way to Robertson. Attacks the rack over top of Davis, right-hand shot no good. Rebound down to Sidnor. He's grabbed and fouled by Mekhi Walker, who was on the floor fighting for it. Second foul on Walker. Muskegon takes back over with 6:50 in the third. 44-33. Kind of a change in rhythm for the two teams to start, and then Cass Tech got back to running.
Yeah, I think a big part, if the Big Red's going to make a comeback in this one, they got to get Jordan Briggs going. Just 2 points in the first half, but right away knocking down his first field goal attempt of the second half.
Muskegon setting things up here against the three-quarter court trap. Day over the timeline, spinning past Robertson to the top of the key. Now Cass Tech sets up their 2-3 zone. Swing pass, left wing Briggs, catch and shoot three. It's good. It's pure for Briggs. He has 7. A big start to the second half for him, 44-36. Pressure broken over the timeline here to Cooper as Muskegon's going full court as well right now defensively. Left wing on to Hairston. Defended by Cunningham around a screen. Hairston sizes him up, drives right side, spins into the lane, into a triple team. Right-hand shot blocked, but a foul. I think they're going to get Davis, but there were 3 Big Reds all in the vicinity. No, the foul actually is going to be on David Day III. That'll be his second, and it will send Hairston to the line.
Hairston getting the switch in the matchup against the smaller Day defensively, taking that opportunity to drive and try to get to the basket. Davis and Cunningham both coming over at the last second to try to help and block the shot, but the foul committed underneath by Day.
High arcing free throw for Hairston rattles out. He's got another one coming up. Senior just 2 points in the first half. Trayvon Cooper over talking to Coach Hall right now on the technician bench. Free throw is up. Free throw is good for Hairston. Goes 1 of 2. He has 3. It's 45-36. Cass Tech will go full court. 2-2-1 trap here. Inbounded near side to David Day. Throws over the timeline to Cunningham, top of the key. Cunningham dribbles to the left wing. Skips it up top for Briggs. Briggs starts a right-hand dribble. Force feed, free throw line. Sidnor, nice reaching pass. Hitting T.J. Davis. Davis reverse layup, blocked hard. He's sent down to the floor and fouled. Davis will go to the line and shoot a couple right here. Second foul of the half on Cass Tech. I think it's going to be Trayvon Cooper. Nope, sorry, it's going to be on Hairston. That is his, should be second foul. They announced third foul in the building. I believe it's his second foul. So Davis at the line. First free throw up and too strong for Davis.
Some high-low action on that offensive possession there, getting Sidnor in the high post right around the free throw line. Slips that pass down to Davis, who had also for the Big Reds, had a bit of a quiet first half, 2 points, looking to get himself going.
Hairston will take a seat as the freshman Sadler checks back in. Rebound down to Trayvon Cooper as Davis goes 0 for 2 at the line. And Muskegon will set up their half-court trap. Skip pass, right corner. Acuff all alone, launches a 3. Off the front rim, no. Long rebound, top of the key to Sadler. He's run into and fouled by Davis. That'll be the second foul. A very fired-up Sidnor, not happy with Davis on that foul as he created that contact. That'll be his first foul of the game, second on the team this half. Left side inbound here coming up for Robertson, as Muskegon will bring the trap on to Acuff. Deep left point, throws left corner onto Robertson, drives baseline, no look pass onto a cutting Cooper, shot blocked out of bounds. Last touched by the Big Reds, and Davis will stay with Cass Tech. 5:42 in the third, 45-36. What a reaching pass that was by the flying Robertson. Baseline right inbound, coming up for Walker, skips right corner to Cooper. Cooper swings right wing Sadler, grab off the ball and the foul on Stanley Cunningham and the Big Reds. That's the second on Cunningham, third on the team this half. 5:40 in the third, and a 9-point lead for Cass Tech.
Walker inbounding the basketball, then trying to get to the corner. Cunningham right away holding him to try to prevent him getting the ball right back.
Right block, Mekhi Walker turning the back on Cunningham. Up fake, two-hand feed, falls short, rebound, touched out of bounds. Last off of Walker. Muskegon takes over. 5.5 in the third, 45-36. Cass Tech will bring some full court pressure, a 1-2-2 trap. Left side, Briggs in the three-quarter court, given back to Day. Day to Davis in the backcourt, Day again. He'll dribble over the timeline. Day top of the key as Cass Tech will fall in to a half-court 1-2-2 here. Up top for Day. Day, left wing Briggs with space, launches a deep 3. Good! Jordan Briggs from 25+ feet knocks it down. He has 10.
8 quick points from Briggs. Really getting himself going, a couple threes.
Left corner, triple try. Robertson sent down to the floor, no foul calls. He missed it off the connector, and Briggs will run up the floor back the other way. Briggs, left wing on to Day. Cass Tech staying in this half-court kind of 1-2-2 matchup trap. Here's Sidnor, grabbed and fouled by Robertson on the lean. That will be foul number 3 on Kenneth Robertson, and the third on Cass Tech. 4:44 in the third, 45-39. What a deep triple that was. What a big moment from Jordan Briggs.
A really strong start to the second half for Briggs. Defense having to respect his ability, even though he's well outside the arc there, extending the 1-2-2 defense, then getting the basketball to Sidnor. Gets the foul called against.
Hodges comes in for Robertson. Drive from Briggs. Leaner rolls out from 8 feet. Rebound tipped out of bounds and last touched by Walker and Cass Tech. It will stay with Muskegon with 4.5 in the third. TJ Davis, and I think it was Trayvon Cooper, we're just having words. Davis was held back from one of the Cass Tech players. Left wing for Day. Defended here by Sadler, top of the key. Throws with 2 hands, deep left wing on Briggs, as Coach Guy will call out the offense. Screen from Cunningham. Briggs launches a deep one. Rattles out off the front rim. Rebound spiked into the corner. Bodies crashing on the floor. Rolling out of bounds. Cass Tech touched up the ball in the Muskegon bench. It'll be Muskegon basketball with both teams having a discussion about it. And a left corner rebound coming up here for the Big Reds in the front court.
Yeah, Davis giving it his all there. Diving on the floor is the ball in the corner, trying to get the possession back for his team, diving and eventually forcing it off the technicians.
Got a lot of contact right now in this one. The intensity picking up. David Day, left wing, defended here by Darius Acuff. And a foul off the ball on Sadler as he was arm fighting with Sidnar. That will be foul 3 on the freshman. 4-12 in the third, and some foul trouble developing right now for the technicians off their 4th team foul.
Sidnar trying to cut and curl towards the basketball, right around the mid-range, right around the free throw line, the left elbow, getting held by Sadler the entire way.
2-3 trap back on, 45-39, Cass Tech with halfway gone in the third quarter. Free throw line, Cunningham, right wing to Briggs. Briggs, stutter step around a defender, curls right elbow, hand off, left wing, catch and shoot 3. David Day, splash! 15 points for David Day, the third, the Aquinas commit. Again, showing up big time. It's a 3-point game. Left corner, Cooper out of the trap. All alone 3. Rattles out, rebound, TJ Davis. He's tied up and fouled. Hodges was all over him along with Walker. A burst of emotion from Terrence Davis. The official hoping to take him out of there before he had to call a tech on him. Davis is fired up. A timeout on the floor. 3:36 in the third. 45-42. The Big Red faithful within 3 and to their feet. We'll be right back from the Breslin Center.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back to the Breslin Center, everyone. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. Media time out continuing. And a 45-42 game. Very quickly, Muskegon has changed the temperature of this ball game with a quick third quarter run.
Yeah, the 3-point shot starting to fall for the Big Reds. Couple from Briggs. Day with one in there as well, and seeing some of the effort on the glass from Davis early in the game. Or really early in the second half. Sidnor, the senior leadership there, talking to him and saying they need him to give some effort on the glass, chasing down some rebounds. And, man, as he responded, diving on the floor, keeping the 50-50 ball in Muskegon's favor and putting in some work on the glass.
Yeah, absolutely. It has been a fascinating third quarter run back here for the Big Reds. And, again, it's that endless motor of the senior leadership and a starting unit that really hasn't left the floor for Muskegon in this third quarter either, that has been rolling them back in this ball game. Out of the timeout, it will be Muskegon basketball trailing by 3. 3:36 to go, third quarter. A three-quarter full court trap on here for Cass Tech. It's a 2-2-1 trap. Sidnor throws into Briggs, defended here by Sean Hodges up the left side of the floor. Briggs with a left-hand dribble, stops right before the timeline, spins it back to Day, push pass right side to Davis. Davis working the pivot foot back onto Day, a 10-second violation. The first one of the game is called. Muskegon just taking too much time up the floor right there. Davis, the pass back, wound up killing him, and Cass Tech will take the ball back over. 3 fouls. The freshman Sadler will check in here for Hodges.
Davis with an opportunity. If he had taken a couple dribbles, probably could have got across the half court there. Had an opportunity maybe to get it up to Briggs up the floor as well.
Muskegon in a half-court trap right here. Acuff drives, dump pass, right block Cooper, elevates, takes the contact, right-hand push shot, short, foul called, and Trayvon Cooper will go to the line. The foul is on Davis. That is his third for the Big Reds. 3:15 in the fourth. Mackay Guy was getting up for the bench. Keith Guy, his uncle, will hold him back for a minute. Now Langston gets up, so it looks like Davis will be taking a seat after this free throw. Cooper at the line, right hand in front of the face, free throw, too strong. And the 6'5 senior will have another one coming up here as Langston will come in for Davis. Some big moments of energy here for Davis. I mean, we've seen what he can do on a football field too. He can manhandle people, and he's been doing it in the third quarter. One more here at the line for Cooper. Bends the knees, right hand free throw, good. Splashes that one down, 1 of 2 at the line. Trayvon Cooper now with 10 points in the ball game. High pressure, full court trap on right here. Day in front of the back line onto Briggs, thrown over the timeline. Langston swings left wing onto a spinning Sidnor. Sidnor with a ton of pressure here, trapped up in the corner, and a timeout called by Coach Guy, who did not want to take that timeout whatsoever. He now only has 3 timeouts remaining. 5 minutes gone, third quarter, 46-42. Cass Tech. Scott Bates is your local Granville, Jenison, and Hudsonville Farmers Insurance agent, and is a great longtime supporter of Game Night, and offers business insurance, auto, homeowners coverage, and more. Give Scott a call today at 616-531-3441 or stop into the agency located at 3181 Prairie Street Southwest in Granville. Courtside here again at the Breslin Center. We'll take a couple quick moments to talk about it, but a bit of an answer right here out of that last timeout by Cass Tech. Both teams missing shots, but things have been neutralized in terms of that quick run back by Muskegon.
Yeah, enough from the technicians to kind of slow down some of the momentum Muskegon had stolen out of the halftime break, getting a stop defensively, almost having another turnover there, forcing a timeout from Coach Guy in order to avoid that possession.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, both teams back out on the floor out of the quick Coach Guy timeout. Left side inbound in the front court here for Sidnor the third. Sidnor lobs into the back court here to Jordan Briggs. Cass Tech sets up that 2-3 trap. Left wing on to Sidnor. Sidnor around a Watson screen, who's out there for the first time this half. Sidnor drives the right side of the lane, falling, leaning right hand overhead shot, high off the glass and good, and a 2-point game. What a shot by Sidnor. Sadler, skip pass, top of the key, Walker, working the jab step, Walker. Looking around, left wing on to Sadler. Launches a college triple. Off the back rim, no. Rebound down to Mackay Guy, who's also out there for the first time this half. Hand off Sidnor, he's off and running. Sidnor through the defense, driving the lane. A foul was called, not on that contact, but instead a foul that was off the basketball on Acuff. That is his first. There was a collision between the driver and the attempted charge receiver, but instead it was off the ball. A foul on Acuff, and Muskegon will take over here.
It looked like Sidnor likely was going to pick up a charge there, but the foul being called just before the collision happened.
That was the 6th foul, so Muskegon shooting free throws. Right corner, skip pass. Briggs today, triple try. Off the back rim, a rebound secured by Mackay Guy. He'll race to the corner, skips it on to Day right wing, and he'll back it out. What a rebound by Guy. Back to Guy, right corner. Drives right baseline, tripped up, falling down to the floor, rolls it to Watson. Launches a left corner 3. Off the front rim, no. Chase to the rebound. We've got bodies being tackled, and a held ball is going to be called. And it is going to, on the alternating possession, stay with Muskegon. That was a rugby or a football scrum, whatever you want to call it. I guess both sides are just grabbing each other. You might as well just call the held ball. That's what they do. As Watson kind of a tackle Mackay Walker right there to tie him up.
Yeah, things getting very physical. Walker had grabbed the rebound, looked like he had it, and then Watson tying it up and kind of tackling and take him to the ground in the same process.
Pressure on the inbound. Coach Guy forced to burn another timeout as they didn't get an inbound lane. So he now, with 1:58 to go in the third, just has 2 timeouts remaining. 4 remain for Cass Tech and a 46-44 ball game.
Centennial Securities is a community service-focused, locally owned investment firm with strong Midwestern values. Since the day they opened their doors in 1978, they have and will continue to recognize that it's not prudent to take a one-size-fits-all approach to investing. Check out Centennial Securities online at centennialsec.com. All right, Chandler, so the intensity, of course, picking up as we expected to see, but, Muskegon will keep the ball, a chance to tie or take the lead here, which seemed quite improbable. Even the first moments of the third quarter were going Cass Tech's way again, but this team has rallied, and again, this senior group not wanting to die for the Big Reds.
Yeah, you can see the urgency, too, from the coaching staff and Coach Guy having to burn the timeout. As you said, not a situation where you want to take a timeout here, 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. You're going to likely want those as this game goes down the stretch, but also understanding the urgency of this moment of getting a potential basket right here, tying this game up, or potentially taking the lead. They've been battling back, getting close, but to seize the momentum completely and try to get this thing tied or get a lead for the Big Reds.
Yeah, so right now, Cass Tech, some developing foul trouble. Muskegon running low on timeouts in what a game that is feeling like you're going to want timeouts down at the end to help be able to draw some things up. Sidnor will throw it in from baseline left with 1:58 to go in the third. Sidnor, left corner, on the guy, reaching pass up top to Day. He will face up defensively here against the 2-3 zone. Free throw line pass on to Sidnor. Up fake, leaning right elbow, skips a right corner to Watson. Catch and shoot three. Splash! Muskegon has taken the lead, 47-46. Justin Watson, another triple. He has 9, 138 in the third, and a Big Red lead.
3 triples for Watson off the bench, 2 of them in the first half. Another one right there.
Acuff driving to answer. Left-hand layup falls short. Rebound down to Watson. On to Sidnor. He's off and running. Left corner to Briggs. Left baseline drive. He steps out of bounds. Right before he turned the corner, Briggs put the left foot on the end line, and Cass Tech takes back over. Derek Miller will check in here for Coach Hall and the technicians. They also are going to bring Christian Hairston in right here. Cunningham comes in for Watson. 1:24 in the third, 47-46. The shot of Justin Watson's life right there.
Pretty huge from Watson. He's been big off the bench, bringing in some scoring for the Big Reds team. Rare mistake from Briggs there, a little closer to the sideline than he maybe anticipated, stepping out of bounds with a drop step.
Acuff drives, right-hand muscle shot through a defender, good off the window, and a foul. An answer from Darius Acuff. He has 12 and has a chance for one more at the line right here. Acuff averages 21.5 per game, and that's a tough shot from the sophomore right there.
They'd been a little quiet in the second half through the first 6 minutes, had not scored, but right there being aggressive through the contact.
And right away, that foul on Cunningham, he has 2. He'll go back to the bench, and Watson comes right back in his place. For the three-point play, Acuff, right-hand free throw, off the connector, no. Rebound, spiked out of bounds, last touched by Miller, and it will go Muskegon's way. 1:14 in the third, 48-47, 1-point lead for Cass Tech. And the technicians bring a three-quarter court trap on right here, 1-2-2 trap. Day right side to Watson, back to Day in the backcourt. Onto the Spartan logo, Day throws over the timeline to Watson, right wing. Up top for Day. Cass Tech settles into a 1-2-2 quarter court trap. Briggs will back it out around a Sidnor screen top of the key. Briggs with a right-hand dribble, alternates hands. Faced up defensively by Cooper at the point of the 1-2-2. Left wing, stutter step. Briggs will back it out and reset the offense with 49 seconds. Down 1, it looks like Muskegon is going to be waiting to hold for the final shot right here as Cass Tech will bring the pressure out a little bit. Around a screen, Sidnor, left wing, lost the handle. Taken away by Cooper, but a foul called as he looked to go sprinting back the other way on a diving Sidnor. Some miscommunication between Sidnor and Watson turns the basketball back over. 6 fouls on either team in the first on Anthony Sidnor the third.
And Sidnor driving into traffic there. 2 defenders ended up getting tied up. Looking like he wanted to dish it off to Watson as he got into some trouble there, but unable to do so. The technician's able to get in there and force the turnover sooner than what Sidnor was anticipating.
Cunningham and Walker in for their respective teams right here. As in the backcourt, Makai Walker will throw it in. Darius Acuff will start up the offense here for Cass Tech. Muskegon into a 1-2-2 three-quarter court trap. Thrown across on a lob pass left wing to Miller. Free throw line, Walker turns the back, hand off Acuff, dribbles into the lane, gave it on to Cooper. Cooper drives left block to right block, clutches midair, scores off the glass. 12 points for Trayvon Cooper. 3-point lead with 18 seconds in the third for the technicians. Briggs right wing against the half-court trap.
Briggs to the left wing with it. A 1-2-2 trap here. Around a guy screen. Briggs right wing with it. Stutter step with 10 seconds. Or with 1 second. Feeds left corner. On to Sidnor. Catch and shoot three. Good! Will it count? They are able to, at the end of only the fourth quarter or overtime at the Breslin Center, look at it. We're going to get a replay, though. He definitely did not get it off in time. The officials aren't supposed to look at the replay. Let's see if they do. And they're going to go over and talk about it. No basket. Remains 50-47. That'll do it for the third. 8 minutes left. They're going to award Mr. Basketball right now on the floor. We're going to take a seat, and we're going to be right back.
Jerry opened the letter. An eviction notice? He and his family couldn't bear to move again. It was warm, and they had plenty of space for their acorns. Anxiety took a hold of him. Then suddenly...
You've got squirrels in your engine, and they chew through the wiring.
And it was covered, thanks to a farmer's agent. Engine Bay Squatters, May 23rd, 2015. Talk to farmers. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today at 616-531-3441. Your local farmer's agent who helps you plan for the unexpected.
I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities. I've heard it said that professional coaches measure success in rings, college coaches measure success in championships, and high school coaches measure it in titles. But youth coaches measure success in smiles. At Centennial Securities, we're like the youth coach. Our success is measured by the smiles on the faces of our satisfied clients. If you're a Centennial Securities customer, you know what I mean. If you're not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you here from the Breslin Center. So, had a chance to look at it. The three that would have tied the game does not count. Another hectic close to that quarter. It's been an entire game of hectic play, and I have a feeling it's about to get worse. That's just my gut feeling with how this one's going.
Yeah, it's kind of the way things are headed. It looked like after that third quarter, things getting pretty physical. You can tell the energy getting ramped up as we get down here into the final quarter of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. It is. It's been a heck of a ball game for sure, and just 3-point game. It was 10 at the half, and it was dominantly in hand, it felt like, for Cass Tech. It was 10 points, yes, but you're saying Muskegon was almost lucky to almost be down 10 because Cass Tech controlled the game so much. Muskegon has realistically embraced the pace. Mm-hmm. They've kind of answered with a trap of their own, and they've been willing just to run it back and forth down the floor with them. And it will be Cass Tech getting the basketball, by the way, to start the final quarter.
Yeah, a lot of the threes that were not falling in the first half starting to fall for the Big Reds. Shooting percentage from the field up almost 10% after halftime, sitting right around 26% at the half, now up to 35 for the Big Reds, and locking in defensively, holding Cass Tech to 9 points in that third quarter. Field goal percentage down about 5% from where it was at halftime.
All right, 8 minutes left in the D1 season. Well, maybe. Cass Tech did play an extra 4 minutes yesterday as well. Here we go. Muskegon bringing a whole bunch of pressure on the inbound. Cooper kicks it left side into the front court on to Miller. Miller will back it out, defended top of the key by Briggs. Miller lobs up top on to Robertson. Robertson will back it out. Cass Tech, like they did to open the third quarter, will take their time to open the fourth quarter here. Muskegon falls in a high-pressure man-to-man defense. Miller spins left elbow, handoff left wing to Cooper. Up top into the right wing for Walker. Walker handoff just to his right side to Robertson. Robertson crosses right corner, backs it out, defended by David Day. Robertson will size things up right here. Threw one up top, and Acuff was grabbed by Mackay Guy. Guy thought it was going back the other way on Acuff. Instead, it's on Guy. That's the 7th team foul, and it will send Acuff to the line for a 1-and-1. Third foul, a little bit of foul trouble developing here for Mackay Guy.
Guy and Day both providing on-ball pressure well away from the basket, trying to see what they could do to maybe force a turnover. Guy getting called for the contact away from the ball.
Free throw, Acuff, no good. Guy rips down the rebound, and back the other way go the Big Reds. A chance to tie here. 7:20 to go, fourth quarter. Matchup 1-2-2 zone right here. Briggs drives in the lane. Floater left elbow strong. Rebound Corey Sadler. Here comes the freshman over the timeline. Down the left side of the lane. Gave a shoulder to Cunningham. Lost the handle. Cunningham gets the ball. Fouled from behind by Walker. He'll go to the line for a 1-and-1. Both teams into the bonus.
Great play from Cunningham underneath the basket. See Sadler attacking, able to poke in as Sadler's going up for the shot, reach in, knock the basketball free, and then a strong possession and up for the basketball to grab it.
I thought at first foul would be Walker. Foul's on Sadler. That is his 4th. So 4 on the freshman who had 14 points yesterday, just 2 today because he's been in foul trouble and spending a lot of time on the bench. So Stanley Cunningham down 3. We'll go to the line right here. Sadler to stay out there for the time being. First free throw from the lefty, falls short. Both teams miss the front ends of their first 1-1s of the contest here, and Cass Tech will take it back over here with Acuff. Slowly over the timeline, Acuff is, now it's kind of Cass Tech slowing the game down a little bit right now. Drives into the lane, Acuff reaching left-hand layup, offensive foul drawn by Stanley Cunningham. That is foul number 2 on Darius Acuff.
Guy guarding Acuff the whole way up the floor, staying right in his face. Acuff able to make a move and get past him, but Cunningham stepping over, getting his feet set right in the middle of the lane in the paint.
3-quarter court, 1-2-2 trap band right here. David Day throws over the timeline to a leaping Guy. Guy on to Cunningham, spins, kicks left corner, Sidnor. Big up fake, walks around the defender. 18-foot jumper rattles out, rebound down to Sadler. Offensive foul, Sadler's done. Here's what happened. Off the ball, he hands it off to Acuff. He then tries to set a screen on Guy. He was moving still while he set the screen, and the freshman is done. That's an offensive foul pretty clearly. He's looking up at the board with his arms up, but I think, young man, that's a definition of a moving screen, and Muskegon will take back over, and he is done for the day as Robertson will come back in.
Entirely created by Guy's effort there. Guarding the basketball, trying to stay in the face of Acuff, and in the process, forcing Sadler to set that moving screen, whether it was intentional or not, forcing him to get in between and pick up the foul there. Just Kai Guy's effort off the bench and in this 4th quarter showing off.
Which is Hairston, not Robertson, that's the one checking in right here. So Sadler just 2 points today, and the freshman is done for the day. 50-47, Cass Tech's lead. Inbound right corner to Cunningham. Right wing now to Guy. Kicks it on to Briggs. Quick catch and shoot 3. A whistle before the shot. And a foul going back the other way on Muskegon. Another offensive foul. They got to push on Cunningham for his 3rd.
Yeah, Cunningham with the bump. Trying to get some space for Briggs off of a screen to get a shot up from beyond the arc.
Muskegon to pressure the inbound right here as Cass Tech will have to throw in from their own near side corner, moving right to left. Got it on here to Hairston on the inbound. Working along the baseline. Hairston dribbles right side. Pressure kind of pulls off as he'll angle over the timeline. 6:18 in the 4th, 50-47 Cass Tech D1 state championship game. Up top for Acuff, defended here by a crouched Makai Guy. Acuff sizing him up and looking for the reach. Guy reaches in and fouls. That'll be his 4th. And that'll send Acuff to the line for a 1-1.
Yeah, not happy with the call on the reach in, but it's kind of been his game here in the 3rd and 4th quarter, playing right on the line, trying to force mistakes from the Cass Tech offense. Also, when you play that kind of way, eventually going to get called for a foul playing right on the line like that.
Martin will come in for Guy as Acuff goes to the line for a 1-1. 9 fouls now on either team. Free throws good. Pure for Darius Acuff. He has 13. And it's a 51-47 game. Big free throw to get it back to a 2-possession game right here for the Technicians with nearly 2 minutes gone in the final quarter. Second free throw good. Acuff hits them both. He has 14. Muskegon has the basketball working against a 3-quarter court 1-2-2 trap. Here's Day at his own free throw line. Left wing, or left side I should say, on to Martin. Back to Day, dribbles over the timeline, throws right wing to Briggs. Reaching past Martin, the freshman. Drives, right hand shot, good, and a whistle. Offensive foul is called. The official wanted to take his time to get to center court to make the ruling. An offensive foul on the driving Martin sends it back the other way. That is his 1st.
Yeah, the freshman there just trying to be aggressive. Go to left side, the defender there, and Martin going through him on his way to the basket.
Sorry, his 2nd inbound here to Cass Tech, and Robertson spiked away by Day, but a foul is called that'll send Robertson to the line for 2. That's foul number 3 on David Day, the 3rd. Game getting a lot more touchy down the stretch right here, and I think part of it is I think the officials have kind of seen the physical nature where this was going, and they've been willing to blow the whistle more before we had things blow up a little bit too much, as Robertson will go back to the line. He has 12 points and can extend it beyond the 5-point lead right here into the double bonus. 14, the home white uniform. Robertson, first free throw, too short. Has another one coming. Black shoes, white socks for 14 in the home whites. Green numbers and green cast tech across the front of the uniform for the technicians. White short sleeves for the senior forward right here. Bends the knees, right-hand free throw is good. He has 13. Watson will check in here for Muskegon as we have a timeout from the Cast Tech bench. 5:44 in the fourth, 53-47 Technicians. And thanks again to the Bates Agency and Centennial Securities for their support. Closing down at the end of this one in a game that, free throw shooting is going to become key because both these teams already now going to be in the double bonus. 9 and 10 fouls out there for the two sides, and hitting your free throws is going to be key. Both teams missed a couple free throws to start the quarter, so for as good as they are at the line, not a given.
No, for sure. I think starting to see more and more fouls called, and so as this game goes down the stretch, going to see a lot more chances at the free throw line for both these teams, and both have had some moments where they've been able to shoot pretty well, and both have struggled from the free throw line, both shooting at the right around the 60%, 66 for Muskegon, 68% from the line for each team.
Yeah, so that's going to be very critical to watch down the stretch. Both these teams, the other thing is they've gone less deep into the rotation in the second half. You see these guys on the bench, they are gassed right now. The intensity of this game, that may slow the pace a little bit, so I guess who's built to run a little bit more might be a critical factor in who winds up winning a state championship here in Division I. Again, Muskegon, a 3-time state champion. They last won the title back in 2014. They're the last team from the west side of the state to win a title. The last time a team from the west side of the state went to the championship game, it was Steve Windemuller's West Ottawa team that lost to Foster Lawyer in Clarkston in 2018. Actually, MichiganGameNight.com covered that game. I think Blaine Wisbicki and company were there for that one, followed that run, so that's going all the way back before the Michigan Sports Radio merger when Michigan Game Night did have coverage of the last time a West Side team was in the D1 championship game. Public School League, by the way, last won a championship in 2015 with Detroit Western International. 5:52 in the fourth, 53-47. The three-quarter court trap is on. Muskegon breaks it to David Day III. Up top for Briggs. Briggs will face up here Trayvon Cooper, who's at the point of a 1-2-2. Briggs into the lane, drives by a couple defenders, flicks it up over his head, draws the blocking foul, goes to the line. He's down and injured, though. He took a lot of contact. He's slow getting back to his feet. Now Briggs gets back to his feet, and he will get ready to go to the line in just a moment right here as he walks this one off.
Seen a lot of collisions like that, a lot of tough calls between charge and block underneath the basket. A lot of players on both team, guards that like to get downhill and drive to the basket. Another tough collision underneath between Walker and Briggs.
And foul on Acuff is going to be his third. Free throw up for Briggs. Off the connector, no good. Has another one coming. 5:38 in the fourth, 53-47. Cunningham will check in here for Watson. TJ Davis back on the floor as well. This guy will take a seat. Here is Briggs at the line. Bends the knees. Free throw up. Free throw good. 1 of 2 at the line here for Jordan Briggs. Muskegon brings some full court pressure in a 53-48 game. Lob down left block to Cooper. Drives to the basket. Left hand shot. Clutches and scores off the glass. Big answer there from Cooper. 55-48. Off the floor, thrown to the free throw line to Sidnor. A massive humanity. 3 aside, just fall on a loose basketball. A tie-up is called. Alternating possession will stay with the Big Reds. Justin Watson will check back in here for TJ Davis. 5:17 in the fourth, 55-48.
Davis trying to skip a feed down to Cunningham, making a backdoor cut. The technicians able to reach in there, poke the basketball free, and then free for all on the floor.
Wiping up the floor now. We're 3 aside. Just fell collapsing after that basketball. There'll be a baseline left inbound coming up in just a moment for the Big Reds. 5:17, fourth quarter, 55-48. Here's the inbound. Sidnor throws left block. Davis, one dribble, power stop. 2-hand feed, no good. Put back Watson strong. Foul is called. On a grab. That will send Muskegon to the line. Foul on Christian Hairston, his third. So 2 at the line right here. Both teams into the double bonus for Justin Watson with 5:13 in the fourth. 55-48. Here's the lanky left-handed wing Watson. First free throw, no good. Muskegon really struggling at the stripe, sub 65% and going down right now at the line. One more for Watson. There's 10 in the traveling black uniforms, bends the knees, left-hand free throw, too short, rebound, spiked up, foul called on the fight for the rebound against TJ Davis. That is his fourth, and now Cass Tech will go to the line for 2.
Missed opportunity right there from the Big Reds. Couple chances to cut into the lead with some free throws, and instead, off the missed second chance, foul on Davis trying to get some positioning for the rebound, and right back down the other end now. Technicians shooting free throws.
It's Trayvon Cooper at the line. We said free throws were going to be, critical, and who makes them, who missed them. Right now, Muskegon missing free throws. Cass Tech making more of them and be able to grow the lead. On cue, first free throw too strong for Cooper at the line. I mean, we know the pressure of the Breslin Center. We're starting to see it, I think, entering into these two teams' minds as Sean Hodges will check in here for the Technicians. One more at the line for Trayvon Cooper, 6'5" senior, has 14 points in this game. He averages 11.5 on the season with 9 rebounds. Right hand in front of the face free throw, rattles out, missed them both. Rebound down to Watson, on to Briggs. Behind the back dribble, tripped up, regathers the possession, stops and skips it on to Sidnor. Left corner Day, catch and shoot 3, rattles out, fight for the rebound, ripped out of there by Sean Hodges. Here's Hodges working the pivot foot. Muskegon faithful wanted to travel, but Acuff will get the ball near side and go right to left over the timeline. 4:51 to go in the ball game, 55-48. Cass Tech, Acuff drives, nice dribble move into the lane, floater strong, rebound, ripped down by Watson through a pair of technicians, throws a pass that's high pointed, stolen away by Cooper, given on to Acuff, mid-range jumper no good, follow, put back Sean Hodges off the glass and good, 57-48 Cass Tech.
Cooper just able to steal the outlet pass. Watson had the defensive rebound for the Big Reds and then just trying to outlet it up the floor to his guard. Steals it away by Cooper and a chance for Hodges to finish it off.
Day working against the zone, top of the key, swings right wing to Briggs, back up top to Day. Day with an up fake, loosely watched here by Cooper. Drives, leaning shot with 2 hands strong, rebound spiked. Out of bounds by Hairston, but it hits the down on the floor, David Day on its way out, and the Technicians take back over.
Following his shot attempt, Day contested layup on the left side, hit the floor and was laying there. And then, as you said, the basketball falling off the rim hits David Day, and possession going to the Technicians.
Hodges nearly pickpocketed, spins over the line, drives to the basket, Euro step, right hand shot good. Back-to-back baskets for Hodges. Timeout from Coach Guy, and just like that, Cass Tech back up by 11 with 3:52 in the fourth. Scott Bates is a local Granville, Jenison, and Hudsonville Farmers Insurance agent and is a great longtime supporter of Game Night and offers business insurance, auto, homeowners coverage, and more. Give Scott a call today at 616-531-3441 or stop into the agency located at 3181 Prairie Street Southwest in Granville. What a run here. What a statement by Cass Tech. They controlled it down the stretch. Free throws becoming a story, but also some big execution. How about Sean Hodges, the 5'9" senior off the bench with the last 2 big baskets for the Technicians.
Yeah, 9-1 run to start the fourth quarter for Cass Tech, and 4 quick points. Hodges had not scored until his last 2 trips down the floor. Second chance points off an offensive rebound, and then right there able to get another one.
Yeah, it's been a statement here from the Technicians. Muskegon already has, fought back once. Coach Guy's going to have to really draw something up right here, but you look at the shooting numbers right now for Muskegon. 31% from the field, 34% from 3, 57% from the line. It's just not what this team has been.
The numbers have improved in the second half, but still below what we've typically seen from Muskegon in their offense throughout the course of the year. So going to need some shots, some big-time shots. They've got the playmakers to do it, but going to start to have to hit some of those looks that have not been falling throughout the course of the game so far.
All right, Big Reds are out and ready to rock and roll with the closing stretch of this game with 3:52 remaining in the fourth. 59-48, Cass Tech over Muskegon. A media timeout right here, by the way, that Muskegon was on the floor, and now Coach Guy, for the kind of final 20 seconds, brings his team back around him to rally the troops a little bit, so to speak. Balanced scoring sheet, really, for for both teams. They've had a lot of guys doing a lot of scoring. Again, a pretty high-scoring game on the whole, especially compared to the last game that didn't even make it into the 40s when it was all said and done in the D4 game. That was a slow, controlled, grinding game with a lot of missed shots. This has been a fast, wild game with a lot of missed shots, but we still have some, I mean, if these two teams were scoring at the rate they normally do, it would be a race to 80 right now. I mean, that's what it was at the half for Cass Tech. They scored 41 in the first half. Muskegon out of the timeout, gets the ball trailing by 11 with 3:48 to go. We are past the halfway point of the final quarter of the season. Briggs to the right wing, throws left wing to Sidnar. Sidnar up top, Briggs, catch and shoot three with space off the left side of the rim, no good. Rebound secured by Langston, fed it on to Watson, spiked out of bounds by a reaching Hairston. It'll stay with the Big Reds underneath the offensive hoop. 3:32 in the fourth, 59-48, Cass Tech.
Yeah, the miss from Briggs on the three, but Langston on the weak side, the left side, able to get the basketball, trying to feed it down to the right block.
Lob to half court to Briggs. He gets his feet taken out from under him by Hodges. He will go to the line for two. Briggs is up minding that ankle a little bit that he got banged up earlier as well, so he's trying to fight through some pain right now, the Wayne State commit. He's got two at the line right here. That is the second foul on Hodges.
Yeah, again, free throws now. Briggs, very good free throw shooter. Going to have another couple opportunities, try to get this back down to a 10-point game.
Briggs is 72% regular season free throw shooter. Easy for me to say. He hits the first. 12 now for Briggs in this game. 4 of 5 at the stripe for him in this game. 3.5 to go, and a 60-49 game can bring it back within 10. Free throw up, free throw good. Briggs hits them both. He has 13 points. Inbounded near side here to Hodges. Hodges lobs with two hands ahead to Acuff. Pressure is engulfing him in the backcourt. Right side to Hairston. Lobs over the timeline. Right wing to Robertson. Robertson left wing across to Hodges. Tic-tac-toe pass to a cutting Hairston. Two-hand feed off the window and good for Hairston. He has 5 at 62-50. Back up to a 12-point lead. Sidnor run into and fouled by Acuff. And that is Acuff's third on the contact there. 3:10 to the fourth. Back to the line here for Sidnor the third.
The Big Reds using some pressure of their own to try to force Cass Tech into a turnover, but the technicians handling it pretty well, able to get pretty easy basket. Hairston cutting through the middle of the lane, finishing with a reverse layup.
First free throw, Sidnar is pure. He has 12. 3:10 in the fourth, 62-51. Again, a chance to get it back down to 10 points here at the line for the Ferris State commit Anthony Sidnor the third. Where's number 4 in the traveling black uniform? Right-hand free throw, good. Sidnor hits them both. He has 13. 3:10 to go in the fourth. Full court pressure on here from the Big Reds. Inbounded near side with Sean Hodges. Runs over the timeline. Hodges turns his back once he gets over. Skips it on to a driving Acuff. Acuff, top of the key, defended by Watson. Double team comes, right side to Hodges. Hodges driving the lane, hand off Cooper, all alone. Right hand shot, good. And a timeout from the Cass Tech bench. 16 for Trayvon Cooper. Great tic-tac-toe passing sequence. And back up to an 11-point lead for the Technicians. 63-52 with 2:55 in the fourth. So both teams now back to their benches, and Centennial Securities is a community service folks, locally owned investment firm with strong Midwestern values. Since the day they opened their doors in 1978, they have and will continue to recognize that it's not prudent to take a one-size-fits-all approach to investing. Check out Centennial Securities at centennialsec.com. 2:55 in the fourth. Cass Tech back up double digits right now. Chandler has another word from both these two coaching staffs, quickly broken up, and back to work they go.
Cass Tech's been able to handle the pressure Muskegon's been throwing at them in the full court, getting some easy baskets off from it. Nice feed down the floor and a cut from the corner from Cooper to get the last two there and get the lead back up to 11.
Discussion at the scores table, get some things set, and now Muskegon down 63-52. We'll go back to work. Inbounded here on the Briggs. Briggs today. Right side to Watson, back to David Day the third. He'll throw it over the timeline to Briggs. In front of the timeline, Mackay Guy back out there will face up against the 1-2-2 zone trapping defense. Right wing to Sidnor. Up top, Briggs launches a long three. Good.
That's
big one for Briggs. Sorry, CT.
Yeah, no, that's a three that the Big Reds desperately needed, a deep one, and Briggs hitting it. He's come alive from beyond the arc in the second half.
63-55. Acuff, no-look pass right wing to Robertson. Lobs it left wing to Hodges. Stutter step behind the three-point arc to the free throw line. Crosses over, stops, feeds up top to Acuff against the pressure. Acuff drives right side, pushed and fouled from behind by a reaching David Day III. That is his fourth foul. 63-55. And to the line go the technicians again with Acuff.
Acuff's ability to drive and get downhill. Looked like he was going to be able to get to the rim. David Day trying to reach in at the last second, poke the basketball free, see if he couldn't just disrupt the drive.
First free throw, Acuff rattles out, no good. Both teams continue to really struggle at the free throw line. They're both below 70%, both 65% and below right now at the line. One more for Acuff. Got it. 1 of 2 at the line. So Acuff now with 15 and a 64-55 lead for the technicians. Briggs to go to work top of the key. Throws left wing to Sidnor. Back up top to Briggs. Steps around a defender. Stops left elbow. Launches a shot. Blocked by Cooper and fouled by Cooper, who got a piece of the arm along with the basketball. That'll be his third foul. And it'll be 2 at the line here.
Now Briggs passing up the three-point shot. Maybe could have rushed it up there, but probably a smart decision trying to pull that one back down. Drive the left elbow. Get to his mid-range jumper.
Oliver and Martin set to check in here for Coach Guy in just a moment, so he'll get a little bit more size out there. Free throw for Briggs. Good. 17 now for Briggs as Martin and Oliver, who comes in for the first time, will come into the game. One more here for Briggs. 64-56. Cunningham comes in for Watson. So defense for offense right here for Coach Guy as he brings his most lanky, athletic unit that he can out onto the floor for this next full court defensive sequence. One more for Briggs at the line. Right hand free throw from the senior. Rattles out, and the rebound is down to Cooper. Big miss right there. Near side onto Robertson, who will take it up the floor. Thrown over the timeline onto Robertson. He's trapped the second he gets over the line. Splits a pair of defenders. Robertson drives, whips the hands free. Left hand shot hits the bottom of the rim, but he's fouled and will go to the line. I think they're going to get Cunningham, but we'll have to see what Big Red. No, they're going to get Makai Guy, and that is going to be foul number 4 on Guy.
Guy and Cunningham both there trying to contest and elevate along with Robertson.
First free throw rattles home for Robertson. He has 14. Day, Watson, Sidnor all check in again right here. Interesting defense for offense unit is, Sidnor obviously a great defender, but Coach Guy kind of thinking length and athleticism right now. 65-56, second free throw, good. Big work from Robertson. He has 15. He hits them both. Makes it a 10-point game again. Here's Day working against some three-quarter court pressure. Briggs over the timeline, top of the key. Briggs, stutter step, throws right wing with 2 hands to Day. Day probes inside, left wing, Briggs reaching past left corner, Sidnor. Drives the baseline, floater short, rebound, leapt and grabbed by Robertson, tied up by Guy. Held ball is called, alternating possession, technician basketball. And again, Cunningham, Oliver, Martin check in, defense for offense for Day. Watson and Sidnor.
Tough shot for Sidnor on the offensive possession, going along the baseline, trying to put it up one-handed, comes up a little bit short. Follows his shot, both Makai Guy and Sidnor in there to try to tie the basketball up, but the possession arrow in favor of the technicians.
Full court pressure on right here. Baseline inbound for the technicians. Thrown in by Hairston right side to Hodges, back to Acuff. Acuff pressured in the backcourt by Briggs. Briggs grabs and fouls him from behind. That's foul 2 on Briggs. And now Cass Tech will start going to the line again with Acuff. He's missed a few here down the stretch of the line. 92 seconds to go. 66-56. And Cass Tech zoning in right now on their first ever state championship in basketball.
Coach Keith Guy looked like potentially not happy with Jordan Briggs after that foul. I think likely Acuff not the guy you want to send to the line right there. Make him pass the ball off and then foul.
First one good for Acuff. Both he and Cooper now have 16 points. Again, those same 3-for-3 substitutions as Guy, Day, and Watson come in for the Big Reds. Second one for Acuff. High arcing shot is good. Hits them both. He has 17 and leads his team in scoring. Tied for Briggs in the leading scoring in the game. Briggs to Guy, back to Briggs over the timeline. Back to Guy, left wing with the right hand dribble to the top of the key, curling. Right wing, Day. Up top, Briggs. Driving into the lane. Couple steps, maybe not called, into a floater. Front rim shot, no good. Rebound down to Robertson, trapped along the baseline, lost the handle, stolen away by Briggs. Reverse layup right underneath the basket is good. What worked by Briggs? He has 19 at 68-58. Pressured, here's Acuff. Runs over the timeline, splitting by a couple of defenders. Acuff left corner, trapped up, skip pass, somehow found its way onto a leaping Hairston. Up top for Hodges, and he is grabbed and fouled by Briggs for Briggs' third foul. So be Sean Hodges going to the line to shoot two right here. Jordan Briggs, both ends of the floor, a lot of effort.
Trying to do everything he can to give himself and his team a chance here. Under a minute to go now. Things haven't happened pretty quickly for the Big Reds. Acuff along the sideline. Thought he was going to be falling out of bounds. Tried to throw it off a Muskegon player. Ended up missing, but luckily the technicians, they're able to get possession of the ball.
Hodges will knock down the first. He has 5. 69-58. 52 seconds to go. Second one for Hodges. Good. Hits a pier. He has 6. A 12-point lead for the technicians. Near side, here's David Day. Throws back on to Sidnar. Sidnar splits a pair of defenders, drives left elbow, handoff, left corner, Guy, catch and shoot 3, back rim no, leaping rebound, Trayvon Cooper, throws it on to Hodges, over the timeline, on to Acuff, behind the defense, right hand layup is good. 19 for Acuff. Now Muskegon looking to beat the pressure to Watson, right wing triple try, good. 12 for Watson on a quartet of triples, an 11-point lead with 29 seconds to go. Both teams back to their benches, welcoming courtside and Chandler. Starting to feel it, obviously the Cass Tech faithful. They're starting to feel it. Looks like their first ever state championship on deck because of a huge stretch run by the technicians.
Yeah, a very impressive fourth quarter. Muskegon battling the whole way, trying to get themselves back in it, taking the lead at points, but the technicians sticking with it, finishing strong here. A couple big plays, and get some stops on the defensive end, turnovers, and then stealing some momentum here late in the game. A breakaway from Acuff in the lay-in. Muskegon gets a 3, but potentially a little bit too late for them, is getting a timeout to talk things over, but right now the technicians really feeling it.
All right, Big Reds break it out. They are out of timeouts. 2 remain for Cass Tech. 72-61, an 11-point lead with 0.4 of a second, under 30 seconds to go in this one. 29.6 on the clock. Cass Tech to inbound, running the baseline. Hairston throwing against the pressure. Got it onto a sprinting Hodges. Throws it on to Cooper. Cooper dribbles once, drives, right hand layup good, and he's fouled from underneath by Day. Trayvon Cooper with 18, and the exclamation point on a state championship moment coming up for the technicians.
Perfect execution of the full court pressure, able to break it right away. Breakaway lay-in for Cooper. Day trying to get in there and foul before the shot goes up, but timed it just a little bit off, a little late getting there. Cooper already up and in with the shot by the time the foul comes in.
All right, Cass Tech starting to clear the bench, including Darius Acuff, who will pump up the crowd on his way out, taking a seat for the final time. Trayvon Cooper, he's vibing at the line with the fans as well. He's ready. What a run by Muskegon. Jordan Briggs being consoled right now with tears streaming down his face in the backcourt by David Day. The emotional release of the championship moment in either direction is unlike anything at the end of these games. Matthew Collins, the junior, will check in here for Cass Tech. One at a time, both teams will now start to clear their bench. David Day III will take a seat for Martin. What a performance by that young man in this one. Cooper looking to complete the and one at the stripe with a 74-61 lead. Cass Tech pretty much went wire to wire as the number 1 ranked team in the state. Free throw is up and good. He has 19 to tie Acuff in scoring. Substitution timeout on the floor. And here go the Muskegon seniors. Jordan Briggs, jersey up, said wiping some tears from his eyes. What an effort that young man made in this game for certain down the stretch. 19 points, whole bunch of plays, and left it all out there as he'll take a seat for the final time as a Big Red. Gets a hug from Coach Guy on his way off the floor, does Briggs. Final 25 seconds. Officials discussion here at center floor as they're continuing to sort out a couple different last-minute substitutions. Coach Guy, Jordan Briggs continue their discussion as now Briggs will head off towards the rest of the assistant coaches. Emotional release from that young man. It looks like there was a technical called as well. I don't know what the tech was for. It's potentially some sort of clerical issue going back. Actually, it's going to be on Cass Tech, so it's going to send Muskegon on the line. So one more tech on Cass Tech, the third tech for Tech. And it'll, I'm sorry, everyone. It'll send Petty to the line. So Petty at the line. First technical free throw is good for the freshman, Arquez Petty, with his first minutes of the state championship game. Part of the next wave of young talent for head coach Keith Guy to come in and try to return them to this moment. They got a lot of young guys coming back, even losing this terrific backcourt. Petty able to hit them both. Muskegon will get the ball with 25 seconds to go on the bench. They're showing on the Jumbotron. The Cass Tech side starting to jump, starting to celebrate already right now. 25 seconds to go. Oliver throws into Petty. Petty walks into a deep triple. Off the back rim, no. Leaping rebound. Secured, but then went through the hands of Lee Harris, out of bounds, and it will go back to Muskegon with 17 seconds to go. 75-63 Cass Tech. Petty to throw in. Lobbing left wing for Martin. He'll settle it down. Martin drives, left corner Petty. Left baseline drive, cut off the block, hand off Martin, left wing with 11 seconds. Martin drives, floater blocked away, on to Cass Tech. They're running back the other way with Jalen Stanton. Stanton tripped up, no foul call, into the right corner, on to Matthew Collins, and at the buzzer, the junior knocks it down. They mob the floor. The Cass Tech technicians, for the first time in their decorated school history, are boys basketball state champions of the MHSAA. Darius Acuff has run into the stands right behind us for his celebration with the Cass Tech students section. We can show it to you as he's right behind us and now just leaving. What a moment. Welcome into the Bates Agency post-game show. Cass Tech, again, essentially wire to wire, the top team in the state. They are state champions.
Yeah, showed why they're the best team in Division I here today. A Muskegon team that has accomplished so much throughout the season and in the playoffs, but met their match today. Cass Tech, start to finish, there was a couple moments Muskegon able to make it close, but Cass Tech really dominated most of the way.
An unbelievable performance, and head coach Stephen Hall, a three-time Class D state champion in his past. He returned in 2016 to coach his alma mater. He'd spent time coaching at the Division I college ranks. He returned to coach his alma mater. And Steve Hall, in his 7th season, has taken Cass Tech to the mountaintop. They were 1974 Class A runners-up. They're 2023 Division I state champions. For Muskegon, it's the 3rd runner-up in their decorated basketball history in the state of Michigan, the MHSAA. What a contest, what a statement, and again, wire to wire really this season. Cass Tech, the top team in the state of Michigan, Darius Acuff and company, are state champions. And by the way, Acuff's a sophomore, Sadler's a freshman. They're young, and they ain't done yet either. A lot more to get to here on the Bates Agency post-game show. Cass Tech, state champions. Be right back.
The sinister cries haunted Mary through the night. Dawn neared, and still the voice tormented her. She ran towards the safety of her car, flung open the door, and a coyote had somehow gotten locked inside. But the damaged interior was covered, thanks to Farmers Insurance. Coyote Carpool, August 1st, 2015. Talk to a farmer's agent. We know a thing or two because we've seen a thing or two.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Contact the Scott Bates Agency today, 616-531-3441. A proud supporter of MichiganGameNight.com.
Can you identify your number one personal trait? The thing that you do better than most others? If not, this may be a good time to think this through. If you're really good at writing, then why use the phone? If you're great on the phone, why use email? If you have exceptional human relation skills, why sit back and let others lead? I'm Randy Hansen, president of Centennial Securities Company. Playing to our strengths is something we do very well at Centennial. And if you're already a customer, you know what I mean. If not, isn't it about time?
Member SIPC and FINRA.
All right, welcome back to the Breslin Center. Nate Dreyer, Chandler Timmer with you. A lot to get to here on the Bates Agency post-game show as we wrap up a state champion for the state championship. Easy for me to say, and pretty easy for them to do in a lot of ways with the way that their season went in this. All right, Chandler, let's start out by recapping some stats and scoring.
All right, we'll start from Muskegon. Leading scorer Briggs with 19 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Day with 15 points, a rebound and 3 assists. Sidnor 13 points, 3 rebounds and 2 assists. Watson with 12 points, all coming on triples and 6 rebounds in there as well. Davis and Petty each adding 2 points in there as well. Leading scorer for Cass Tech. It was a tie. Cooper and Acuff each with 19 points. Cooper had 8 rebounds to go along with it. Acuff 3 rebounds, 4 assists. And Robertson with 15 points. Going down the list. Walker 7, Hodges 6, Collins 3, Johnson 2, and Hairston in there with 5 as well.
All right, Centennial Securities player of the game and player of the championship. So many options to go. You know, Trayvon Cooper had 19. He was the guy that kind of stood up beyond his season average. But there's one guy that game in, game out we knew was going to be targeted. He played, yes, terrific defense, but offensively found the buckets time after time when needed, even though he was the one with the ball in his hands and we all knew it was coming. Darius Acuff. We saw why this sophomore is one of the most outstanding players in the state and in the country. I think you're going to see him continue to gain a lot more acclaim.
Yeah, still just a very young player, but showing he has a complete game as a sophomore, knocking down a couple threes, able to attack the basket, be aggressive that way, got himself to the free throw line, handling the big moment on the biggest stage.
Let's talk about this Muskegon team. So 3 senior guards. Incredible legacy they leave behind. They make it to the state championship game. First time the West Side's been in the state championship game since 2018. When West Otto was here, they were trying to become the first state champion for the West Side since 2014 when they did it last. I guess wrap up this team for head coach Keith Guy. We saw them throughout the playoffs. This is an unbelievable team. This backcourt was just incredible. They've got some young pieces that'll be interesting to see. I think they're going to look a little bit different next year. They aren't going to be guard-oriented, but what a senior class, what a team that this Muskegon Big Reds team was.
Yeah, a tough way to close the season for Muskegon, but it doesn't take away anything from everything that they accomplished and the senior leaders that they had, the guys that led them start to finish. The guys have been around for multiple years now, and the composure that they showed throughout the season, dominating all their way on their march through the playoffs, and then just coming up a little bit short here, but giving it a battle and all the way right till the end.
And for Cass Tech, like we said, you lose a player like Cooper, Walker, Robertson, Hairston. They do have several seniors, but Sadler's going to be back. He's a freshman. Obviously, Acuff's going to be back. He's a sophomore. They've got a lot of pieces that are ready to come back. I'm sure that they'll be able to reload that in other ways as well. This is the opening of a window, and the way they play, they're going to be able to develop talent and play at that speed with this sort of high-level talent. This is the opening of a window. And I would not be surprised if this is, I don't think this will be the last of the championships Darius Acuff wins in his time at Cass Tech.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think definitely lose some pieces from this team that you'll have to find guys to fill those roles next year. But when you bring back a star like Acuff and you got already a freshman like Sadler in the wings ready to take over, you saw him play, have some big minutes and show he's got star potential as well. So when you've got those building blocks, definitely a bright future too, even though they're at the mountaintop right now.
All right, I guess I'll let you go first. Wrap up. That's the end of the basketball season, end of the 22-23 school year in terms of broadcasting for us here at Game Night. Wrap up this year, I think, in what we saw. Great football season, great basketball season. Again, unbelievable this time. We got the championship games for D1 in both football and basketball this year.
Yeah, very cool. I think a great opportunity and a ton of fun to cover all these games and, of course, get to end it here at the Breslin Center covering a West Side team and getting to cover some great teams along the way. Every single game we did, and it was a lot of fun, a lot of different events, and a lot of time A lot of fun spent, but it's always great to end it here and look back on another season. It always flies flies quicker than you expect. Before you know it, it's the start of the season, and then you're at the Breslin Center. But another terrific year.
Yeah, first off, again, huge thank you. Scott Bates Farmers Insurance Agency, Centennial Securities, they're a big part of the reason why we're here. Brock Conkle at Michigan and everyone at Michigan Sports Radio. I mean, what a great fun partnership it's been with them, and it's allowed for us to do a lot of these different things. I mean, when I look back at this year, first off, I look at the football season we had and some of what we did following Caledonian. I mean, just numbers that I didn't believe, blowing things up during that playoff run with listenership and whatever. Into this basketball season, debuting video coverage, adding features all the time with video. That's always been something we've been looking to do, and we said we weren't going to do it halfway, and at the end of the day, I think we found a way to do a good production. This playoff run, the D1 state championship, very fortunate for that. Of course, fortunate to this guy right here for all the time and effort he puts in, and all of his help, of course, throughout the year, and everyone else maybe sprinkled in with different coverage helping us throughout the year as well. You know what? I'm pretty fortunate. I get to do a lot of other broadcast stuff as well that you may have seen me doing, but there's something special about getting to cover high school sports, and it's why I really love Michigan Game Night and what we do, and I look forward to keeping it going and continuing to build on it because it's a unique opportunity. I love watching these communities. Love to to interact with the kids, interact with the families. It's always fun, and it's just a different atmosphere. To end at these championship games in particular is always so much fun. Huge congratulations to Cass Tech. They were kind of the favorite start to finish this year to win the championship. They did just that, and congrats to Muskegon. An unbelievable season. Represented the west side of the state well, just fell a little bit short. Cass Tech state champions in Division I. For Chandler Timmer, for everyone at Michigan Sports Radio and Michigan Game Night, I am Nate Dreyer signing off one final time. Thank you for tuning in all year long to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Thanks to that guy, too. He's excited about it, and we're going to sign off one last time. Thanks to everyone for tuning in all year long to Game Night on Michigan Sports Radio. Congratulations to the technicians, state champs for the first time in school history. Head over the timeline to Gable. Gable straight to the basket. Elevates. Slams it down over top of Arbaugh. Oh my goodness, the tomahawk jam.
The ball is tipped, and there you are. You're running for your life. You're a shooting star in all the years.
Driver pounds the rock, looking for a passing lane. Got some motion going, got a right corner for Hagel. Pounded defensively by Dudley. Step back three for the lead. Buries it pure! Kobe Hagelin, 40-39 West Ottawa. A step back triple. Absolutely cold-blooded from Hagelin. Giving on to Titus. Titus angles, pull-up shot for the lead. Good! Brady Titus, a scream to the heavens after he knocks it down. And the Hudsonville Eagles are state champions for the first time in school history. They bob at center court. Head coach Casey Glass, in his 12th season, has taken the Eagles to the mountaintop. They are state champions. And it's the ultimate revenge for Tri-Unity. Another state championship for Coach Keeler's squad. The defenders of Tri-Unity Christian, state champions in Division 4, 56-45 the final.